Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with James Farley.
Hello.
Sean Bell.
Hello.
And Matt Muzzer.
Hello.
Hello, Led. You alright?
Yeah, I'm good, boy. I'm
The
back,
first one of the year, isn't it? Is it your first one of the year?
No, second one of the year.
No.
Oh, second one of the year. Okay, right. I forget what time now. I don't know.
I mean,
time.
it would have been Matt's first one if James had his way and we'd not done the first one.
That's a point, yeah. If James had put the start of the year off for another week because he couldn't be bothered.
Thank you, everyone.
Fine.
Thanks.
Yeah. No problem.
I wasn't having a go, James. I was just saying, if this was a sliding doors...
Not having a go. You just bring it up at every opportunity.
I'm just saying, if this was a sliding doors scenario... This is the Mandela effect. That's what Dave's got. He's in his brain is partly in the alternate universe where we sacked off that first episode.
Rubbish.
Sure, come on, mate.
What?
Sort it out. You can't do that. Don't back away from it. Oh, James Farley. I wasn't having a go, mate.
No, I'm not having a go. I'm not having a go. I'm just saying it's a parallel psychic dimension that you've tapped into there, Dave. So well done.
No, sorry. Sorry, Sean. If you're going to front someone out, you got to back it up. You can't just hide behind it.
Sean just
jump
loves
into
that,
a bush and hide.
He loves the fence.
Yeah. Right, okay. We would like to thank our Patreon producers this month. They are Aaron Patrick, Full Nels, Simon Nelson, Full Nels. I'm not doing it between everyone. There's loads of them. Tom S, Full Nels. Actually, I might do. Jack Oven, Full Nels, Moon Biscuit, Full Nels, Richard Sawyer, Full Nels, Dave Ensberger, Full Nels, Colin Brown, Full Nels, Gasman, Full Nels, Gabby Barrera, Full Nels, Fuzzball, Full Nels, Jill Fridge, Full Nels, and Sluggish Bubble, Full Nels. They're the Full Nels crew. They went to patreon.com/TCGS and signed up at the Full Nels tier. Thank you so much for helping us survive, I think is the right way of phrasing it. But if you would like to sign up but don't want to go Full Nels, there are various different tiers. We just released our January bonus show. You can get that for how much, Matt?
£4.50 plus that.
£4.50 plus that. You gotta love Patreon, haven't you? And we did our live talks over where we talked over the Activision. What year was it? 2007.
Yeah.
The infamous Activision E3 2007 presentation. You can see that for free in a month's time, or you can watch it either a month early or live with us if you sign up at the what tier, Matt?
£8.50 plus that.
Well, hang on, they can't watch that one live. It's already happened.
No, yeah, but I mean going forward, like in the future.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but okay, never mind.
Our Patreon supporters are very special to us, and we really appreciate it. But should we get on with the show?
Let's.
Yeah, I will say, actually, speaking of that content, today also, for everyone who weren't Patreon subscribers, can watch our Christmas talks over, where we talked over bad influence Christmas specials, which were something.
Wasn't the best one, was it? Wasn't the best one. I mean, we should look at our own work and be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
That wasn't the best one, and nothing to do with us. We were great.
Yeah,
we're just great.
It's Andy Crane,
wasn't that good? Yeah, it was Andy Crane.
Andy Crane's fault.
There was nothing to really say. So I think at some point we were just chatting. So if you want to see that, that's on our YouTube channel. So go and check that out. Right, feedback. Matt, let's start with you. What did you think of last week's show?
Thought it was a great show. It took me a while to listen to it because I've been...
Go on.
Slog,
busy,
was it?
But I managed to get it. I managed to finish it this morning. And also there's no commuting. Okay. So it's like, podcast time's gone.
That's true. Notes? Let's hear your notes.
It was really only one major subject, which was butter. I bloody love butter. To the point where when I was younger, I used to go to the fridge and just eat butter from the fridge.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean?
I was in
just grab it.
You open
like with your hands, or do you use a knife or a spoon?
How did you go about this?
No, I'm not. I mean, we're using a knife or spoon or something. Just get a bit out, straighten
knife or spoon.
Yeah,
that's.
Anyway,
it was definitely butter. Not margarine or whatever.
It was lard.
It was Marge or butter. It's probably Marge, knowing my family. But no,
just a block of fat.
Yeah, I fucking love that stuff. And like that butter / Marge is going to be the thing that kills me off. Either that or Jill, but probably butter. The amount I put on stuff, and every time Jill's like, no, less. That's insane.
Oh no, you're not like that. One of those. When you go round a friend's house, when you're at school, and then you had lunch around a mate's house, and they would give you the sandwich, and it would be like a ham sandwich, but if you squeeze the sandwich too hard, the butter sort of curled out from the sides. That always used to make me feel sick.
No, I'm not bad now. Like, on standard sandwiches, no, but if it's like French bread, and I fucking love a French stick. Like,
I'm trying to put too much butter on
I'm trying to
bread,
curb my French stick habit. I can't basically go to the supermarket without buying one. It's sometimes
that's a bit different. That's a bit different. And not like, do you have bagels? Do you have toasted bagel?
I've had them. I like them.
You whack a bit of butter on that, and it's
amazing.
It's like sliding around over the fucking top of it and shit. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, so
I love that.
Definitely butter the bread. I think there's a question about, do you butter the bread if it's like a cheese sandwich? Obviously, it's a sandwich.
Well, the question was about, do you butter it if you're putting jam on toast, don't you, or bread? I guess
that's right. That was the initial one.
But then cheese came into it as well.
If I have Marmite and toast, butter, then Marmite.
You have to. You have to do that. For a while, I tried having it just Marmite, and it is vile. It's absolutely vile if you do that. It's the worst thing.
They should incorporate that into their advertising slogan, innit? Marmite, you either love it or you hate it, or you love it but hate it unless there's butter involved.
Yeah. You either love it or hate it, but if you think you hate it, have you tried it with butter?
Yeah.
that can be like a service suggestion on the site.
Yeah. Can I just ask a question, right? Does everybody on here likes Marmite, right?
Nah.
Yeah, love it.
What?
No.
Sean, you don't?
How can you not like Marmite?
Nope.
It's beautiful.
See, I can't understand it at all. Because I tried to get Chen to eat it before, I made her when she first came to the UK, she'd not had toast with Marmite on, because that's not a thing in Shanghai. Yeah, they just don't eat that. And I was like, I made a whole thing with butter and everything, and I gave it to her. I was like,
you made a whole thing.
I was like, this is
a Marmite platter.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this is the most amazing thing.
Toasted some bread.
No, as in good quality butter, nice bread, scraping the Marmite on it.
Setting the scene.
Oils.
I was going to say, is this out? Yeah, I think I know where this is going. To be fair, I've not tried it since I was a kid. I've not tried it since I was young.
She loved it, Sean.
So...
Fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, fine.
Oh my god, I've never heard anyone be cut off that badly before. What is going on between Sean and James?
I don't know why he's got it in for me already.
Have they had a row that we've...
Oh no, I thought we were just doing a joke. This was leading into an erotic thing. That was all. I wasn't trying to cut James off. It was just
James was halfway through his anecdote, and you went, "Yeah, I see. We know where this is going." It just moved on. That was really weird.
No, I thought he'd finished his point that he'd set that he'd done a nice setup to try and get Chen into it. Anyway, go on, sorry, James.
Yeah, but didn't you want to find out if she got into it or not?
You said she did.
That was
anyway.
Admittedly, after I interrupted. Sorry, James.
Hell.
Sean, you said you haven't had it since you were a kid. You should try it again.
Okay. Fine.
On a stream.
What's in it? What is Marmite?
Yeast extract. Yeah.
It's just yeast extract. Okay. Well, that sounds lovely.
James, when you were saying you were trying to get Chen to eat it, I thought you would like every morning she'd be like, "Oh, you made me a breakfast in bed again, James. Thanks very much." Is this what's this on the toast here? It's
chocolate
Nutella.
Spread. It's chocolate spread, yeah.
It looks a bit dark for the no, it's Nutella.
Shiny
it's
chocolate spread.
Try some. Are you sure it's not Marmite again? No, it's definitely chocolate spread.
I'm sure you'd like it this time.
Listen, we need sponsorship for this show, and I'm well up for it being Marmite. I don't know about you guys, but I think that is a good sponsor. So if you're listening to this podcast and you like it, then please tweet us and at Marmite and say, "Wow, your discussion on Marmite has made me go out and buy 7." Well, not go out, because they'll
order online.
Maybe mail or
order
online.
Can I ask you a question, Dave? Where do you stand on Bovril?
You may. No, Bovril, I'm a no-go for Bovril. No. It just tastes like cheese. It's Giorgio. What is it? Giorgio Giorgini.
Sergio Giorgini.
It's Sergio Giorgini. It's not as good as Marmite. It's not as good as Marmite. If
Obviously.
Bob will get in touch, we're not interested. But she's at them, at us. Let's try and get this together. Get a sponsorship from Marmite. Right.
Marmite
and that was
2021.
it.
Oh, you also said, Dave, about butter on popcorn. And I was once in a cinema where they said, hey, do you want butter? I don't know if they said butter
so I've
sauce
been in one of those.
or whatever, but they said, do you want butter? I was like, of course I do. I love butter. It was a massive mistake.
Why?
I drunk like mine, and I always go for a large combo at cinema. That's half the cinema experience for me, getting a large combo. And I drunk pretty much the entirety of that massive Coke during the trailers because the butter was just like made you so thirsty. So
really,
yeah.
And then how long did you last until you went to the toilet?
I can't remember. That wasn't the time I was shit myself during the Matrix, so I don't know.
I wasn't going to ask.
Let's move on to feedback.
Well, we're definitely asking now. Why did you nearly shit yourself during the Matrix?
Well, because it was action packed, and I didn't want to leave. And then I was like, I kind of need to. I do kind of. If I wasn't in the middle of a film, I would definitely go to the toilet right now. But
weren't you sitting there though, going, "Well, none of this is real anyway. Let's go." Right in my seat. Was it that they're not falling across your mind?
I should have known. And but basically, my legs were shaking so bad, like the entire row must have been like, "Can you go away and do a shit or something?" Yeah.
Do you get that? Do you get that in the cinema where you watch the film and if there's one driving scene in it, when there's one driving scene in it, and you get in the car and go drive home, and while you're behind that wheel, you're like, should I just floor it?
Oh yeah, every time.
Just turn the radio up and just fucking floor it around this corner.
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch Baby Driver at the cinema.
Could you be rushing out with your headphones in, driving around up on fucking
on my iPod Classic or whatever it was.
Is that it? Is that it for your feedback?
Yeah.
Good. Well, let's hear what the listeners had to say. They all love it last week, did they?
Well,
best episode for a long time.
That's episode the worst in a long time. Classy Adult Films Co. have emailed in. I have an opportunity for James Farley. I run an adult film company, and I would like for him to become an actor in our next film. The film is called Confessions of a Professor of Chinese History. Who will pay handsomely?
James, are you interested?
What's the bunts?
It's decent. Well, handsomely. James, would you do it if we didn't see your face? Would you do it?
No.
But no one would know.
We'd know.
Exactly.
That was definitely
I'd know. Why would you know? Sean, why would you know?
You can just tell. We'd recognise him. We'd hear his voice.
Well, yeah, and I reckon I could. But I'm pretty sure I'd know what James's penis looks like. So I reckon I could. Yeah.
Again,
point it
why
out.
are we bringing this into it again? Why is this being brought up again?
Is that the name of the film? Okay, Greg, why on earth would you put butter on a cheese sandwich? Absolutely ludicrous behaviour. Cheese is already high in fat. There's no need for it, and the butter detracts from the cheese.
Absolute rubbish.
Right, who gives a
That is bollocks.
Who gives a fuck how high in fat it is?
Yeah, Greg.
I just don't want it to be a bit of dry up cheese on a bit of dry up bread. Like,
dry up.
Dry up.
Yeah.
A bit of dry up cheese.
A bit of dry up
up
cheese.
bread.
You've not heard that? You don't? God, you guys are so
Dry
lame.
up.
Yeah, this is how
sure.
that's proper dry up. That is
I've never.
proper
You've
dry
made
up.
that up.
Nope.
This is a
Although
con.
I have found out recently that most of the stuff me and my friends said at school, no one else has ever said. John Denton likes to point that out to me on a regular.
Proper dry up.
So the other day, Isaac called New a job about, and she was like,
I like
what?
it.
And I said, yeah, and I was like, yeah, job about, and she's like, what do you mean? Well, I mean, it's like like somebody who's a bit shiftless, like a layabout. And she was like, I don't think that's a phrase. I was like, yeah, it is. Looked it up, nothing, absolutely nothing. So I texted my mum, and she was like, oh yeah, your granddad used to say it, and I've said it to Isaac. So that's just a Bell family thing, apparently.
Yeah, we had one. I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but it was the same with my granddad.
Oh.
Whenever there was a word that we didn't know what it was, like, so Grandad basically looked after us throughout our half terms and summer holidays and all that sort of stuff while my parents were working. If there was ever a word that we didn't understand, we would say, "Oh, Grandad, what does that mean?" he would always answer, no matter what, whether he knew the answer or not, he would always answer, it's a device for slinging shit over a lighthouse, right? And it's something we've all said in our family for ages because of that. And then, I Googled it a few years back, not a single mention of that anywhere. That was just something he made up, I guess. Strange man. Okay.
Yeah, TCGS.
I hope we've addressed that butter cheese comment.
There's plenty more butter discussion where that came from.
Cool.
TCGS.corrections is back. On last week's show, Dave stated that I can't believe it's not butter was no longer called this. This is incorrect, as it's still called I can't believe it's not butter. Log into any supermarket app and search for it to understand your error. It returned to its original name in 2019.
That is what this pop segment of the show is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
a good bit of feedback. You've corrected me there. Good.
I was gonna dive on the grenade for you there, Dave. I thought it was me that arrogantly introduced that.
I think we both did, mate.
Okay.
I think we were both on side there. Yeah,
fair enough.
I mean, he's directed it at me. Maybe he should have directed it at both of us.
Well,
but I'm not that picky, Sean.
Okay.
All right.
Rex Reese. Hi lads, following up on the butter/margarine conversation last week, I wanted to point out that James said he must have butter with jam because it is too dry otherwise, or dry up, as David would say. Yet he won't have butter with peanut butter. Is he seriously trying to suggest jam is drier than peanut butter? Or has James fallen into the... Oh, God.
Just give it a go.
Go on.
Etymological?
Yes, mate.
Yeah.
Minefield that is spreadable goods and tricked himself into thinking peanut butter already has butter in it.
Yes, that's exactly what I did. Yes, that's exactly what I've done. He's got me there. Exactly right.
What, you thought butter was in peanut butter?
No, it's just I don't know.
Wait, hold on.
It's
were you being
psychological,
sarcastic
isn't it?
that first time?
Yeah.
James, can I ask you, before you move on, were you being sarcastic with that first answer?
No.
Were you being sarcastic with that answer?
Yes.
Honestly, James is just the weirdest person on the face of the planet. I don't understand why we can't get a straight answer out of him and why we can't detect sarcasm in him. Like, it's weird.
He's a robot.
You can't detect it, can you? He sounds sarcastic 100% of the time, but also not sarcastic.
That is exactly what Chen says. Like, she says that all the time. She says she doesn't believe hardly anything I say because she says she just assumes it's sarcasm, like most of the time, because of the way I speak.
See, I don't believe hardly anything you say because you make it up on the spot and then try and backtrack later. That's through experience. It's got nothing to do with that. But anyway, so did you think there was butter in peanut butter? Give me the straight answer.
The straight answer is yes.
Right, okay, fine. That's all right. You got that wrong. That's weird, isn't it?
James, I can't believe you said yes. I thought you were going to do like the Matt Hancock thing and just say, well, the question isn't whether I believe it is. It is whether it's a great product, and we'll leave it at that.
I've been very clear.
You've been very clear that what we've done is I've eaten it and I've enjoyed it.
Exactly.
What we should focus on, really. Jeff Kettle.
Okay.
I think it's fair enough.
The PS5.
Oh, go on. No, it's fine. We don't need to talk about this anymore.
No, Sean,
we were all out of sync today, aren't we? What's going on?
What, in terms of the internet or just our fucking brains? I feel like we're all
brains,
just...
Definitely our brains. We're all on a different levels at the moment. Let's just loosen up. Come on.
I think we're too loose as it is. I think that's the problem.
We should tighten up.
Let's do a 3, 2, 1 Matt. That might help.
Okay. 3, 2, 1 Matt.
Matt.
Yeah, sounds right. Sounds good. Sounds like it's going well.
Read the PS5 price inflation.
Jeff Kettle. Jeff Kettle.
I've just got it. Jeff Kettle. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, Jeff Kettle. Read the PS5 price inflation. Biggest hike I've seen was CEX selling the disc version of the PS5 for £810. I'm keen to get my hands on next gen, but not £810 keen.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Although saying that, we've been talking about it in the week, haven't we, James? Like, about how insane the stock for these consoles are. I mean, it's bad enough for Microsoft, but at least they're getting their consoles in shops every week. Whereas, like, Sony, it's like they just haven't bothered with the UK since launch. Like, it's been crazy. and obviously I've been following it now and seeing how mad people are getting. But Gamer doing his thing. Did you see my tweet in a week? I really don't like this. So Gamer doing pre-orders. Apparently, by the looks of it, the pre-orders go live from tomorrow, right? If you pay £20 for their insured delivery, then they will they will send the consoles out. If you pay for a standard delivery, which is £5, they wait a week before they dispatch the console.
Okay.
So they're literally just holding your console back for a week because you haven't paid £20. And do you know what's really bad? I think I'm at the point where I'm just going to pay it now. I think I'm at that point where I just think, whatever.
Well, no, are they holding it back a week, or are they just like shipping it from a place that 20 quid gets you the overnight stuff and 5 quid gets you the 4-day?
I wouldn't have thought so. If they're selling the consoles, I assume they've got them in the country, because that would be pretty risky in this day and age to be selling consoles that aren't in the country, right?
Well, it is game.
Yeah, that's a good point. Who knows? But I saw that and I was like, oh, come on, mate. That's bang out of order.
Cool. So what? So you getting the PS5 on what, Thursday?
I have no idea, Matt. I've no idea. There was a small allocation of PS5s went up on Smith's website on Friday, literally under a minute, and they sold out. It was the same with the Series X on Amazon this morning. What was it? Jelly Deal's Twitter account tweeted, "Quick, the Series X is available on Amazon now." And then literally about 12 seconds later went, "They've all gone." So it's like, I don't know what's going on. I'll tell you what this has proved. That I was totally wrong about these console launches. I thought they would be a nightmare. I thought no one would buy them. They would be at really low sales figures. But I got that well wrong, because these things are flying off the shelves. And I don't think it's only because they're not on the shelves in the first place. I think, when you look at the stats that the companies are putting out, they have been selling well regardless. But it's pretty nuts, man. Sony need to get those consoles out
it's
there.
It's accessories as well. Like when a console came out, I really wanted one of those charging docks. So rather than like having like a cable and you just like plug it in, and they've been going in out of stock in like seconds. And today I got a notification from Amazon saying they're in stock, and that was also gone within a minute or two.
I'll tell you
that's just a charging dock.
I would love one of those for the Xbox, because I'm never clear whether the pads are charged or not. Because you plug it in, and then it always does the thing where it shows on the dashboard that it's charging, but I'm never sure if it's finished charging or not. It's really irritating. I'd rather just plug it into something and then charge it. There you go.
You just take the thing out and it gives you the level.
Yes, I know, but it's not... I don't know. I'm just weird about these things. Forget it.
No, go on. No, I'm interested. Go on.
You want to see it in the OS, do you?
Yeah, I want to see what the percentage is.
It is in the OS.
Yeah, but I want to see the percentage, not like as a visual representation of it.
Right, okay. And they show you as a percentage on the PS5, do they?
No, but it doesn't matter because I'm talking about the Xbox.
Okay.
Let's move on.
All right, I'm just asking. What? How did they do it? They do it on that one. Chill out. Okay. Okay. You want the percentage? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, Rafi. Hey guys, I was interested to hear.
Is everyone on edge? Everyone's on edge. I don't think we're on different levels. I think everyone is just on edge. This is like 2 weeks of lockdown now, and we're at the point where we want to kill each other.
I was fine, and then I came on here. I was fine, and I just had Sean going for me like twice. Like so far.
Here's your backup.
Going for you.
Yeah.
Nice one, Sean. You've ruined the podcast. Next,
congratulations, mate. Well done. Right, Rafi. Hey guys, it was interesting to hear last week's show, as well as confirmation that once I leave the games industry, I'd struggle to even get any other type of job. In fact, this is actually a reality for me. After 8 years working in the industry across a few studios and finally being made redundant, I chose to try and take on a more stable job as my son had just turned 1, and I didn't want to gamble his future in an industry that seemed quite unstable. What this led to was a 1.5 years of applications of various offices, supermarkets and other retail-based jobs, and not getting even a single interview. It was a nightmare. No one would give my CV a second look, either because they felt I was too experienced or my CV layout was a bit shit. During this time, I was working at a warehouse for an agency. It was fine, but still not stable, as I was sent away when there was no work at times. I managed to get a few bites in interviews after I changed my job role to office assistant, but got caught out when my LinkedIn profile still had my previous employment and employer snooped on that for further details. Thank fuck an old employee within the games industry contacted me and just gave me a job over the last couple of months. This experience has made me partly believe getting a start in the industry is tough, but getting out of it is just as bad. Thanks a lot for the show. Please let James do the socials from now on.
No.
Do you think that's always? I mean,
Switching any industry is tough.
Yeah, I think so. Just switching to a completely different industry is tough, isn't it? I don't think that's exclusive.
And the point I was making was more just going back into like the work I do now, but after having just been like, I've just been like chatting about games for 20 years. If you're doing something like actually skilled in the industry, I wouldn't have thought it would be that difficult. But yeah.
I mean, obviously these jobs are going to be recognised the further we get into things. You know what I mean? Like it's because it's still relatively new, I guess. But I don't know, man. It's as you say, changing any industry this day and age is an extremely tough thing to do. So.
What I found funny on the conversation last week is you're like, when we're in our 60s and we don't podcast anymore and we want to get another job, you worry about all the experience and this and that and what you'd have to say. But when you're 60s, you get like a part-time job in a shop, or I mean, like they're not going to be like, oh, you've done 4 years of content creation. Oh, don't know if you're
not me.
Don't know if you're ready for this.
Nope. If I was, I'd go straight into bank manager. Matt is what I'd do at 60 years old.
Assistant to the
I'll
bank
put
manager.
my podcasting career behind me and walk into probably the nearest NatWest, wherever's closer, and just go, look at me. Let me put me in charge of money, please. And let's go.
Everybody's screaming, "It's David Turner!"
Don't be silly, Matt. No,
I don't mean. I mean in horror.
Right, yeah, no, that's more likely. Should we get on to the next bit of feedback?
Yes, we should. This is from the Newsmakers. Mr. Farley's love for the news. Greetings. We heard your cry for quality news stories, Mr. Farley, and we thought we'd offer our services. We are the Newsmakers. Our sole purpose is to provide top-notch news stories for our clients. You might be familiar with our work on Twitter, since we're the ones who advise PS5 stock alert accounts to add the words "may be available" to their posts. We wish we could take credit for having a Pokemon Go fan travel 14 miles to Kenilworth for no apparent reason and get Eurogamer coverage, but sadly that wasn't us. Nevertheless, if you need a dedicated team to goad Peter Molyneux until he drops a new quote about Peter Molyneux, or simply a fresh scoop on Anthem, we're here for you, Mr. Farley. We'll even write the story for you to read on the podcast, so you don't have to worry about missing details in paragraph 2, as our copy never exceeds 1 paragraph. We're just happy to help you keep your passion for the news alive.
Who wrote that in? Who said that?
Isn't that the villain from Tomorrow Never Dies? Who's done this?
Who's that? Well, the newsmaker.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. Who
You've not seen the film? Okay,
Tomorrow
never
Never
mind.
Dies is.
Three people
James,
who've seen Tomorrow Never Dies
It
just made me
was
laugh.
Elliot Carver, I think it was, from what I remember.
Okay.
Wow. Deep cut. James, do you want service?
We're good with references, aren't we, guys? We're good with references.
Oh, yeah.
See, it's a great show,
Names
right?
just
Because they
rolling
don't just
up,
talk
aren't they?
about games. They've got a broader, cultural brief.
Let me ask you this: have you seen Tomorrow Never Dies? Well, yes, I have. Well, listen to this podcast because you
There's
all
a
love
bloody
it.
great reference in the start of it.
Right, okay, is that it for the feedback?
Yeah, if you want to leave feedback, go to tcgs.co/deartcgs any time of the day or night.
Right, listen, the feedback section was a mess. We all understand now. We're all
sorry,
we're all
Dave,
happy with
what?
that. It
Oh,
was
it's
a
not your
mess,
fault,
Matt.
And did a great
It's
job.
it's not your fault. I'm not directing at you, but
you.
that was a fucking mess, right? Okay. James, it's time for you to step up, sort this ship out. Let's save this episode of the podcast with some banging news. Come on, mate. Come on, give it to me.
Okay. It's been a big week for Cyberpunk. Because quite
here we go.
a lot of things have happened since we were last on the show. So first of all, there was the CD Projekt CEO did a video basically saying, don't blame developers for this, it's our fault. So he put out this video apologising for the state of Cyberpunk at launch, and particularly on the consoles, And then he also published this post-launch support roadmap, which was offering like all the updates that there was going to be over the year, and when the free downloadable content was probably going to come, and also when there was going to be the updates for the newer consoles, which appear to be coming like right at the end of this year, I think is what it appears to be. But so first of all, they're doing like these hot fixes, and then there's like patch 1.1 and then 1.2, and then the free DLC, and then the next gen stuff. But that's going to be coming much later. But even during that period, there says there's going to be sort of multiple updates and improvements over that. So he said that the reason that all this has happened is because CD Projekt underestimated the task of making a game that was optimized for PC run smoothly on 7-year-old consoles, and that was the main problem. So this is what he said. He said, "We made it even more difficult for ourselves by first wanting to make the game look epic on PCs and then adjusting it to consoles, especially old gens." I love that's a weird way of saying it. That's what he said. And he says, "As it turned out, our testing of older consoles did not show many of the issues you experienced while playing the game. As we got closer to launch, we saw significant improvements each day and every day, and we really believed we delivered in the final day 0 update." Every extra day of development was then geared towards these improvements, and
You're running out of steam, James, there. It sounded like you were running out of steam.
No, it's because I got to the end of a quote and I was like, okay, is this still a quote or is it not? And then I discovered it was not still a quote. It's actually my notes,
Okay.
but I'd forgotten. But
So you put words in his mouth.
so he then explains that CD Projekt have like held off distributing the review code for console versions until like the last minute because they were still working on it, basically, for that sort of period of time. And he said that the other update's going to come at the second half of the year. And then regarding crunch, he didn't actually say anything about it, but it was in the FAQ on the website where they said the team is working to bring relevant fixes to the game without any obligatory overtime, and they said they're avoiding crunch on all our future projects as one of their top priorities. So that happened, and then after that, Jason Schreier came out with one of his articles about how he described it as inside Cyberpunk 2077's disastrous rollout. And so he described it as a development process marred by unchecked ambition, poor planning and technical shortcomings. Employees discussing the game's creation for the first time described a company that focused on marketing at the expense of development and an unrealistic timeline that pressured some into working extensive overtime long before the final push. And the reason for this, he argues, is because they were trying to develop like new engine technology at the same time as developing the game. And like one of the developers said, this was like trying to develop while they're laying down like a train track, etc., all that nonsense. And then also he talked to this guy called Adrian.
Slow down.
Yeah,
no, he said it was like trying to drive a train while the track is still being built in front of you. That was the full analogy, wasn't it?
Yeah, but basically
Just like
that,
Wallace and Gromit, yeah.
Yeah, like the wrong trousers, isn't it?
So
cultural references. Let's go.
So a former audio programmer for CG Projekt also said that he talked to the developers about this and said, like, this is too challenging, it's too difficult, and they just said, we'll figure it out along the way, that it'll be fine. And the main sort of revelation that seemed to come from this was that it was announced in 2012, wasn't it, at Cyberpunk, but then apparently they didn't actually start building it until late 2016, so the development period was actually not as long as it kind of like initially appeared. Seems to be one of the main things. And also the demo was fake was one of the other accusations as well. The one that they showed in 2018, that it was all like, none of it was really real, and developers said that they felt that the demo was a waste of months that should have gone towards making the game instead. And the overall thing was that there was just not enough staff. There was not enough people working on this. They were trying to go for something that was like Grand Theft Auto ambition in sense of size, but with far fewer members of staff, and that it was unlikely they were gonna reach that. Yeah. So there you go.
I mean, so where to start?
I mean,
so
did
initially
you read that article?
Sorry,
Sean. Did you read that article, Sean?
I did, yeah.
Did you think it was a deep dive into the development of the game? Because I didn't.
Neither did I.
No, it's really weird because I read it and then I thought I hadn't finished reading it, and then I thought, I'd better have finished reading that for tonight. But then no, I went back and it just ends really abruptly, doesn't it?
It does.
It's really strange.
Yeah, it's
It's
strange.
basically it's a weird article, isn't it? Because it kind of makes out that it's like these great revelations, because I'm sure that's that's to try and get the clicks or whatever. But it's basically they were over ambitious and they didn't have enough people like to run it.
Yeah.
And we
all basically knew or any of us could have guessed. I mean, fine, it's still worth doing the research and confirming it, I suppose. But yeah, it wasn't like there was nothing particularly shocking in it, I thought.
No, and although I'm not questioning, some of the stuff that was said on it, it did read like a few disgruntled employees got in touch. You know what I mean? And it's
that was.
I mean, 20
also
of them. That's
studio,
significant.
Sorry, Sean.
I was going to say, I mean, he's interviewed 20 members of staff, and that's a significant number, right?
That is. It is.
Well, the thing is, right, is the studio head responded actually to this, and that was one of the points he made, because he said, regarding the staff all saying that it wasn't realistic to be ready for release in 2020, he said, you've talked with 20 people, some being ex-employees, only one of whom is not anonymous. And he says, I wouldn't call that most of the 500 people supporting your claims. That was, and then also the other major criticism that the guy had was about the fake demo, and he said you can't really say that about something which is a demo because it's still a work in progress, and a lot of the stuff did end up evolving and finding itself in the game eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that point as well. And I don't want to be defending Cyberpunk because I've got a lot of problems with how they brought this game out, right? Ones that weren't covered by the video that the guy put out. But I will say you can't really have a go at them for the fake demo, because then you'd be having a go at the vast majority of video games that put out the demos out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them are bullshit. As I said, you look at anything Ubisoft's being brought out before the final game, compare it to the final game, and you'll see that it's all nonsense. But yeah, so I don't know. You can't really highlight that as a sort of a case to beat Cyberpunk with, especially when there's so much other stuff you can point out.
Well, that's the thing, because the worst thing attached to this really is the crunch stuff, isn't it? Like the idea that. Yeah. Okay, they were unrealistic in what they were trying to achieve, and they probably went too far with that. But then the fact that they then put all that on the employees to figure out, that's not on, I don't
know if that's the worst thing you can point at them. I mean, again, crunch is quite widespread and on different levels, and, there's all sorts of other issues surrounding that. I think the worst thing you can put on them is how they essentially hid how the game was running on consoles they were selling it on. That's and the excuse that, well, we were still working on it. Well, no, that's not an excuse then, is it? Then you delay that copy of the game if it's that broken, and whatever. Like, that's
one
not
of the
an
lines
excuse.
as well from this apology, or the statement saying, as it turned out, our testing of older consoles did not show many of the issues you experienced while playing the game. So we're throwing the testers under the bus there.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did they not?
Yeah,
how
they knew. Of course they knew.
Found?
Like,
Could you imagine like, looking at that PS4 and Xbox One version and saying, well, you didn't pick this up. All right, fair enough, but how didn't you pick it up? It's not like you have to really dig deep into the game to find these little glitches and stuff. I mean, you turn it on and you press forward on the stick and you can see the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing about we're gonna fix it with no mandatory crunch. Whereas what we found out, and as is often the case, like there was very little mandatory crunch throughout development, and yet people felt the pressure to get it done. And then the few people who were initially willing then made everyone else feel bad, and then other people follow suit. And that's how it always goes, unless you actually say, like, unless you actually ban overtime or whatever. So it's
but then that's a problem as well. You can't just ban overtime.
Well, exactly, yeah.
The people that
there are
want
ways
to
of
work
managing
overtime
it
to get more money. Yeah,
but it's not enough to say like, oh well, it won't be mandatory. It's like, yeah, it already wasn't, and people were already doing it. And I think Shria's article mentioned someone who quit because they're like, well, I've got a kid, so I can't. And that is a problem. Like, if you want to start a family and stuff, game dev is a shitty job to be in because of this sort of culture. So yeah, so I thought that was odd.
Best thing Cyberpunk can do now, right, in my opinion, is I don't think they should have put a timeline out.
No,
I
well,
think
have you
they
seen
should
it?
have just.
It's,
yeah, and I know it's not a timeline.
It's back of a cigarette packet stuff, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah. Which is probably a good thing because they don't want to keep themselves to dates and get themselves into trouble again.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that they should do a Hello Games and just go away for a bit.
Yes.
Just go away. Don't say anything. Take the hits. You're going to get beaten with this over and over again, and then do a big sort of here are the patches.
Yeah.
Here's where we're at, do that thing.
Exactly what
right
they're doing
now,
with Anthem
people are
right
still
now.
angry about it. You reckon?
No,
You reckon? You don't?
absolutely not. No.
Didn't we nearly have a bet on about when or if Anthem was going to come back?
It was
in a
one of
big
my
way?
predictions that we'd never see it again. But yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see
I'm
it
sure
again.
you. Okay, I need to go back and listen to an old show. There was a discussion about whether they would come back. I think Matt was saying they're definitely going to bring it back, and we had a massive argument about it. Just another one of those situations where I could be proved right. So I'll take any of that. I'll listen to hundreds of hours of our show to just get that.
Just to win a point.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, next story is that the US Environmental Organization has warned against Xbox Series X and PS5 energy consumption. So what it is they both draw 160 to 200 watts of electricity when they're being used, which is higher than like the previous controls. And the US Natural Resources Defense Council has produced this report which details the impacts that this is likely to have. And I mean, it recognises that when they're in rest mode, the consoles do consume a lot less. But then they're complaining basically that things like Xbox is like instant on mode is like a default. And it shouldn't be. You know, it shouldn't be like you ship with this, and then that's what most people are going to use, which then just burns more electricity.
I think that's a very fair point. I think that's a very fair point. What's the? Yeah, just have it off as a default, and then people that want to use it. That makes total sense to me. Because I saw this and I was interested in it because initially there was an argument about how much power that these consoles were using when they weren't turned on, and it all stemmed around the argument about it being quite hot. There was reports that the Series X was getting quite hot even on standby mode. But then I'd read that it wasn't that bad actually. Turns out it's not terrible, but as you say, if they're all set to do that automatically, that can't be a good thing. It's weird that's
They also said, like, the Xbox Series S, they highlighted as a positive because they say it draws, like, lower power while playing games than the other three, than the other next-gen consoles, presumably because it's not a next-gen console, so it's, it doesn't...
It's not an equivalent.
It's not an equivalent, so it doesn't pull the power. But then what they did say was said, I mean, I really wish what they did... I wish what they did on Xbox was this on PlayStation when you press to switch off, you can choose either rest mode or fully shut off, and I just wish they added that on Xbox as well because
I reckon they should do that. What an easy win that would be for Xbox to come out and say in the next update, rest mode will be turned off by default. If you want it back, turn it back on in the settings.
Yeah, or just give an option.
What an easy win that would be for them.
Just give an option when you're switching it off. Like, how do you want it off? Do you want it in rest or do you want it fully off?
That's true, isn't it? You can only hit power off, and that goes into the energy saving or the complete shutdown.
Yeah. The thing is, say, look, do you want to fuck the planet or do you want to go to heaven? And then it'll be like,
I know, but like if you want to fuck the planet. But also your games will update. So, do you know what I mean? You've got to weigh it up.
Probably a bit of both.
Like, I'll fuck a little bit of the planet if it means that I don't have to turn my Xbox on to update the games.
Yeah, to wait to download 95 gig.
Exactly, Matt. Have you heard the stuff about PS5 in rest mode, though?
No.
So apparently, there's problems with crashes on certain games and stuff like that. Apparently, that's really reduced if you shut it down fully instead of putting it in rest mode when you turn it off.
Trouble, isn't it? Like restoring or whatever. It's weird.
Possibly, but I've heard this again only anecdotal stuff that I've seen in forums and stuff. But the majority of people are just shutting it right down. They said it's been a lot better in terms of crashing. If you're having problems with that, then give that a go because that's the word on the street, guys. That's what I've heard.
I mean, the other thing that they talked about was people if you use the the machines for streaming video and stuff, it's not really a great idea because they use 10 to 25 times more power than a Fire Stick or TV or whatever. And they said they apparently they urge Sony and Microsoft to include a dedicated low power chip just for video playback on the consoles. But then obviously they're not going to do that because it's
No, they won't. I wonder if Microsoft will come out with something like that though. I could see them doing a Fire Stick sort of thing.
I think
where they bring it out and it's got cloud on it. Was it xCloud on it or whatever?
That would make sense for years, doesn't it? It does. It feels like it makes sense.
Hang on a minute. I suggested this ages ago, and you all told me to fuck off.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. No,
I mean, admittedly, I said that that's what the Series S was going to be, but even so,
yeah, that was the difference.
Turns out in the end, Series S was
Still a good idea.
A next-gen console, which is a little bit different to a Fire Stick.
Okay.
LucasArts and Ubisoft are partnering for a Star Wars game. And so this is going to
our little chat about this last week when
we were like, I don't mean anything.
Didn't it?
Just bollocks to mess.
Well, no, we just assumed that EA weren't going to work on Star Wars games anymore, right? That was the sort of the basis of the.
Well, I think we sort of suggested that, but ultimately we were like, well, who knows?
Right.
Like, it could mean absolutely nothing. But yeah, by the looks of it. I mean, I'm sure EA will still make some of them. They're just, I think,
well,
it's just
I've
That's
got an
been
update on that.
confirmed,
Yeah, do you want to hear the thing here? So it's apparently Disney have said EA has been and will continue to be a very strategic and important partner for us now and going forward. But we did feel like there's room for others. We're really proud of the games we've created with EA. We will continue working with them, and our relationship has never been stronger. While we may not have a lot of details to share at the moment, we've got a number of projects underway with the talented teams at EA.
So I think Disney looked at Star Wars and looked at what EA have done with Star Wars over the past, 4 or 5 years, and just gone, we can't just leave it to them. We can't. Because they've really fucked quite a few, haven't they?
Yeah.
But the last 2 years they've done well with Squadrons and Fallen Order.
Squadrons did all right. It wasn't a massive hit, though, was it?
No, it was good.
It's a good game.
Discounted pretty quickly, didn't it?
I'm
not sure it did that well.
I don't think Disney give a shit if it's a good game or not. They released Battlefront 2, which was a good game, but then they put so many microtransactions in it that it got one of the worst reputations of a video game for years.
But that was EA, though, wasn't it?
The pivotal moment.
That was when EA were on their microtransaction tip, wasn't it?
Well,
and not to mention all the games that never got made, never got finished. Which, maybe for good reason, who knows? But, yeah.
In terms of them working,
there's been some problems.
In terms of them working with them for years, like the deal was out in 2023, so I don't. Yeah, it's not hard to say that. Yeah, they have several projects, and then once they're done, the contract moves over.
No, there's no way they're going to let Respawn go. What was that game called? I played it this week. Fuck. Star Wars Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order. That sold really well.
Yeah, and they're working on a sequel, aren't they?
Correct, and they're working on a sequel. There's no way they're going to take that away from EA. That's fine. They'll want that game to come out.
They're just going to be offering it up to other studios, aren't they? That's what's going to happen. Like stuff. I mean, that's what this one is. I mean, this. Like, partnering with Ubisoft, I mean, the worst thing about it is the Division 2.
It's got potential.
I know, but the studio they've given it to, was the studio from the Division 2 and The Crew. And neither of those, I think, are particularly good games. And I
wasn't a massive fan of the Division 2, but if you take a Division 2 style game and make it about Star Wars, it's got potential.
Yeah. I don't know, that'd be horrible.
Why?
It just because it's not very good. I don't like. I don't know. I just don't think it was very good, and I don't want.
I'm sorry, James. Let me explain. They're not going to be walking through Washington.
No, but it'd be the same game
Jedi
mechanics,
cloaks
won't
on
it?
Shooting people up.
But it'll be the same game mechanics with the same bullet sponge enemies and all that kind of thing. I'd rather it was like Assassin's Creed, like they did one of those.
Not necessarily. No, I wouldn't. You having a laugh, aren't you?
No.
What, Assassin's Creed, but you're a Jedi? I'd probably play that.
That'd be way more interesting than a Division style one.
No, I've been playing a lot of Valhalla recently, and if I have to raid another village, I think I might be done. I can't raid another village.
Broadly speaking, the point is Star Wars is a universe where you can have, action RPGs or straight up RPGs or strategy games or flight sims or shooters or any number of things. So it makes no sense to just keep it with EA. Like, by all means, spread it out, see what people can do with it.
Yeah, so moving forward, EA will keep doing Fallen Order, but everyone else will do other things.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering whether Battlefront will come back.
Yeah, Battlefront will still exist, definitely.
Yeah. I think so. I think the next Battlefront's going to be quite good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's I think it might be, Matt. I think it might be. Based on the fact that the past two games have been pretty good, but they've been bogged down by little things that have upset people. You know what I mean?
So the second one it looked like it was really good. Is my memory... Sorry. Did they throw out a really bad time and that's why it kind of got forgotten
No,
about.
no, it's got nothing to do with that.
No, they just ruined it with microtransactions.
Oh,
It was
right,
microtransactions,
full of
and the single
terrible
player was broken
microtransactions.
as well. The single
And
player
single
was
player's
no good.
broken. That's the one. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
single player wasn't that good. You should play it though, Matt, because I mean, just for the experience of seeing it, it's easily the best looking Star Wars game out there. And if you play the mode where it's like you versus loads of AI characters, then that's really
I
good
played
fun.
a couple of games of that the other day actually, and it was
Did
good
you?
fun.
All right, okay, that's a
Weird.
weird turn to that conversation. That's bizarre. But yeah, no, it looks absolutely stunning. I'd like to see if they bring out another one of those. I will say this: I booted up Fallen Order this week just to check out the next gen modes. Did you see that stuff?
Oh, have they patched it?
Yeah, they've patched it to run better. It's not like a proper next gen thing, but it runs better now on PS5 and Xbox Series X. And it's got 60 frames per second mode, and my word, that makes a huge difference. Like it just looks really good now. So
What does it do to the game's loading?
Oh yeah, because load times were a bit.
Were they?
Do you start to go through a crack and it's like?
You go through the crack much quicker. It's like,
I forgot you. I forgot you hated that stuff. Completely overlooked it in Last of Us 2, but it was a big problem with you in Fallen Order. That's right.
But yeah, I mean,
Different
I
game,
had
of course.
mixed feelings about Fallen Order, but I'd certainly like to see them do another one.
Oh god, yeah.
So fingers crossed.
Yeah. If they can smooth out the problems with that, get rid of the Wookiees. Get rid of the
Dave,
Wookiees.
right, the difference between Last of Us 2 and this is that there was conveniently loads of cliffs which had a crack in the middle of it. And that's what did my night in. Whereas
And
Last of Us, you can imagine a hole in a
fences
building.
with holes in it.
You can imagine a hole in a fence, a hole in a building, but it's like, why is it
a hole in a cliff? Fuck off.
No, it's just
Yeah, but
it's
Fallen
not the same
Order
crack
had
every day. I'm sick
Fallen
of it.
Order would have a corridor in someone's house that's just completely obstructed by fucking pipes that you'd have to slash open.
They also had magic hands that would push people away. I mean, just chill out.
Can't do that. At least the
stupid,
magic
it's not
hand shit has its own
believable, get
internal
out.
logic. Blocking off a whole section of your fucking house doesn't.
Yeah. What they should have done is just another loading screen. You guys put way too much into that.
No, it's just
really isn't a
don't
problem.
try and hide it. It's just
I mean, don't try and hide it.
like obviously
No, I
in
want
the right
them to try and hide
circumstances,
it.
this stuff is ignorable. But it was like with Fallen Order, it's like there was that, and then there was like, why is there like this giant enemy just sat on this one little bit of a cliffside? How did it get there? How could it leave? This doesn't make any fucking sense. It's just loads of little things like that added up.
Weird.
I'm definitely looking
Matt,
forward to the sequel.
That statement there is like the most anti-developer statement ever. Don't try and hide your loading. That's half of game development. You've got to try and hide your loading. That's the whole
It's
point.
just like, there's
thanks
another
to next
crack
gen.
in a cliff.
They don't have to, do they? Now it's fine.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see. I mean, I am looking forward to the sequel. There, there's so much potential there, isn't there?
Yeah.
We'll
exciting.
see.
Just make it shorter.
Okay,
Fuck, man. Okay, go on.
okay. So Bethesda have also just got the Indiana Jones license, and so they're gonna be developing something. It's gonna have an original story, and it's by Machine Games. Apparently,
Yes,
are gonna
mate.
be working on it,
Well, they've
which
got
is-
previous for battering Nazis, so yeah, good.
Indiana
Excited
Jones and the
about this.
Buggy Game. I'm looking forward to it.
What are you on about?
what?
Well, Bethesda, they make buggy games, do they not?
No, Machine
Machine
Games
Games
don't.
don't, yeah.
You've not played Wolfenstein?
I have.
Right, okay. I don't know what's going on with Matt. I don't know what's going on with Matt.
Matt saw low hanging fruit, and he went for it.
Am I not am I the only one that hasn't got any sort of nostalgia or interest of Indiana Jones?
Yes.
Really?
I've
You
never
didn't love
cared
the old
about Indiana
movies?
Jones. No.
Do you know,
watched them.
I definitely have
It's like,
some nostalgia for it, but I barely remember him. Like, I
Yeah,
definitely,
I've
like,
got
I remember
nothing.
seeing him
There's
as a kid.
nothing
But
there for me.
Yeah, I used to love
Yeah.
the old Indiana Jones movies. They were brilliant.
Ah, good. So you must be happy.
I'm over the moon, yeah. A few years ago, there was that Indiana Jones game that got cancelled where the test footage was them fighting on tram carts in like San Francisco or something.
I don't
Does that ring
know.
a bell?
No, I think that was Uncharted. I think that was Uncharted.
No, it wasn't. I swear
Uncharted
there was
game.
one where... Anyway, so maybe this is a...
The only Indiana Jones game that I played was the Atari point and click one. You must know that, James, right? That's your era.
The Face of Atlantis,
What was it? Was it Face of Atlantis? It starts off in a boxing ring.
Yeah.
And I remember. Do you know that game? Like, do you know it?
Yeah, I know. Well, I know of it. I didn't actually ever play it, but yeah.
Right, you didn't have it. So if anyone's played that game, it starts off in the boxing ring, and I think there's a puzzle where you have to turn the light off. I think that's what it is. It's a point and click game, right? Me and my dad used to play it all the time. My dad and I, actually. All right, my dad and I used to play that game all the time. And we got up to the Nazi airship where you had to crawl through the vents, right? How far into that game were we? Because I'm dying to know that. Email in, what is it? Contact at TCGS.
No.
.web.
No.
What is it? Go on.
TCGS.co//
Dear TCGS.
Dear TCGS.
Yeah, let me know how far into that game we were, because I want to know, because it felt like we were right at the end and we couldn't do that bit, and it really pissed us off.
You could probably just look it up.
Yeah, but it's not as fun, is it, Sean? Fucking hell. All right, go on, let's go.
Okay, so Super Mario 3D World.
I'm trying to get you're trying to get a little bit of, back and forth.
No, you see, I am that guy,
it.
Dave, who when people are having an interesting discussion, I'll just Google it, guys. And it turns out the answer's not half as interesting as the discussion.
Oh, God, here comes the twat with a mobile phone. God, James.
So Super Mario 3D World on Switch is going to be adding online play and a photo mode. Photo mode.
Well, that's the title.
Photo mood.
And there was also a new Bowser's Fury trailer, which looked incredible. But yeah.
Right, okay, we've got to talk about this. I've never been so pumped for a game, I don't think, and which is ridiculous, because at one point I never wanted to play 3D World again, and not because of the game, but because of the fact that I had a 2-year-old son that used to make me play it over and over and over again, especially that first fucking level, like over and over and over again. It was insane. I spent so much time on that game. Just because it was like, when kids get obsessed with something, that's all you're doing all day long. And mine was 3D World. But when I saw 3D World again, I was like, I'm bang up for this again. I'm well up for getting all the way through this again and going back and finding all the coins and then going on to those special levels and all that sort of stuff. So there was that. And then Bowser's Fury is not what I thought it would be.
It looks.
Can we talk about Bowser's Fury?
Well, it's weird, isn't it? Because it looks almost like a kind of like open world, like sort of area. It looks huge.
This is it, right? So for those of you that don't really know much or care, it's Super Mario 3D World is it's sort of a cross between. It's like a halfway point. It's not a cross between. It's like a half step between New Super Mario Bros. And Mario Odyssey, right? It's weird. It's like this isometric view of these sort of diorama levels. That's probably the best way of saying it, but they're way more open than New Super Mario Bros. But they're way more limited than something you'd see in Odyssey or Galaxy or whatever. And the combination of that is weird, man, because it feels like these really precise technical levels, but with a bit of freedom in there, and certainly exploration. Exploration's a big part of finding those coins and stuff. You really do come out of each level, like the third or fourth time you've gone into them, you really come out of those levels feeling that you've seen everything that level possibly has to show you. And when this re-release plus Bowser's Fury was announced, it was like, well, we've just seen the 3D All-Stars stuff and you've done fuck all to that. And we just assume this is like another world with about 8 levels in it, in the same vein as 3D World. But it's not. It looks like a completely different style of game. If this was a half step between New Super Mario Bros. And Mario Odyssey, then Bowser's Fury looks like a half step between 3D World and Odyssey. It's like in between those two, because it's behind the character, right? Like Odyssey, but it looks way tighter than any of the levels in that game. But from what I gather, it's one level that has that imminent threat thing that Nintendo have toyed with every now and then, like in what do you call it? Like in Majora's Mask,
yeah,
where you're going around, you're on a time loop, and there's that imminent threat just staring at you the whole time. That's what this looks like. So there's loads of different areas in this one level, and in the centre is Bowser, who's pissed off, and at some point is going to get up, completely change the level by kicking off and trying to kill you. And if you survive that, then it goes back to normal and you carry on, and then it could happen again. And the idea is that eventually you take on Bowser and sort of save the island or whatever it is. It just looks incredible. Like, it looked like so much Mario condensed into one space that I watched that trailer about 3 or 4 times. I loved it. How about you, James?
Yeah, same here. I was really excited by it, actually, because first of all, it's when you start to sort of look and see like the stuff in the distance, like even further in the distance, and they look almost like different levels. Do you know what I mean? And that have all been sort of stitched together. And
really. Yeah,
and also, I mean, it's got like co-op as well with Bowser Jr., which will be great, I think, to play. It's
will it?
Well, no. Well,
who's going to want to be Bowser Jr.? That looked like a Mario Odyssey sort of co-op to me. That.
I don't know. I think it looks a bit more like in depth than that. Like, I don't think it looked like Cappy.
Okay,
because that was awful.
Okay, fine. Yeah, it was bad. I don't know, mate. What's crazy is that I didn't know that Sean hadn't completed 3D World, so I'm really jealous that you've got.
Well, this is the thing, because when they announced this, I was like, I've still got the Wii U version. I'll just get that out because, like, I'm hoping Isaac will probably be interested. He loves Mario stuff already, so I was like, and I'll feel better just letting him mess around with the Wii U because if he breaks it, who cares? But yeah, seeing the Bowser's Fury stuff, I think I'm going to have to buy this, to be honest.
It's one of the best 3D Mario games ever. Like, I think it's fantastic.
It really is. Yeah, no, I would say it's one of the best Mario games ever made, genuinely. It's one of my favourites, certainly. And the fact that, Matt, you've not played it, you've got to get on this.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. I pre-ordered it when I pre-ordered the other collection, so I'm really excited for it. And obviously all the things you guys have said over the years have made it sound amazing, and this trailer looks so good. This is the game I'm most excited about this year. I mean, I haven't really looked at what's come out the rest of the year, but this thing I'm so psyched to play. I really need a new Mario game at the moment. I can't wait to get involved.
Where have you?
I'll say this. I mean, we've said this about tons of Mario games, and it especially applies for Odyssey. That if you are getting this game and you play it and you complete it and go, "What? I can't believe they were hyping it up this much." As with most Mario games, complete it and then go back and get all the coins, because that's where the game is. That's where the genius starts coming out, and you're just thinking, I didn't even notice this was in this level. There's this whole other bit, and it's amazing. And then doing the challenge levels at the end is just crazy. It's well good. That game.
Sorry, I'm excited. I'm very excited. Where's everyone getting it? Because generally I go digital with Switch stuff. But you can get the really nice little steelbook one for like no extra money.
Well, actually saving yourself 20 quid, isn't it?
Well, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, like Shop 2 are doing the physical version for like 40 quid. If it's that much, if that's the price difference, then it'll always be the cartridge version.
I think I'm going to do the same with because Monster Hunter Rise is the same thing as well. There's a nice steelbook one on that. So again, I can't. I do hate swapping games around with the Switch, just because obviously.
So do I. Yeah,
the cartridge being so tiny, it's like no, put it back in the case, or else it's fucking gone. But yeah, it's like I say, it's the price difference.
But Monster Hunter Rise, that seems like a game you want digital because you're going to put potentially hundreds of hours into it. No?
Yeah, that's exactly the difference in it. Like, because with Animal Crossing, I definitely got it. I got the code version. The download version. I got it from CD Keys or something, which was quite cheap. It was about the same price as the physical version, but I thought if it's on the console, then that's fine.
Yeah.
And the other thing that annoys me is that Harry's asked for it for his birthday. So fine, his birthday's the 24th. The game comes out, what did we say, the 12th?
21st, isn't it?
Oh, is it the 21st? No, it's not.
Oh, no. February 12th.
Yeah, the 12th, right. So I've got a long wait with that game in my house to not play it, because the problem with the Switch, you put the cartridge in, it just whacks it on the dashboard, like even if the cartridge isn't in the machine. So Harry would just turn it on and just see that it's already been in the machine. So I'm kind of screwed there as well. so I can't do anything until he gets it. But
you just have to
yeah,
play it and then
super
delete it
pumped.
every night, and then reinstall it, play it, delete it, reinstall it.
No, you put it in there to download the update. That's why. So it's ready for him. That's all you got to say.
Oh, no, I can't do that. My dad used to do that all the time. It was well disappointing. Was that way to take a shine off your birthday? Fucking hell. But no, I'm really excited for that game. And the only reason why we're not really talking about the online co-op is because of Nintendo's track record.
It will be
stuff,
broken,
right?
won't it?
Yeah.
It will probably be absolutely shit. So I'm not holding out much hope. I will say this though: if for some insane reason it's brilliant, then that's a co-op stream.
Definitely.
That's a co-op stream right there. Do you know how the co-op stuff works on that? Sean, Jack, Matt?
Only vaguely.
So it's half co-op, half competitive. And it's one of those situations where you're going through the level together and all of you've got to try and get to the end. But at the same time, you're all competing to try and get as many coins and points as possible, and it tells you who got the most points at the end of each level. Doesn't it? It gives you a crown as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you get a crown. Whoever
It gives
got
you a
the
crown.
most,
If you're in the lead, if you got more points, you get a crown for the next level. However, if you stump on the person with the crown, you can nick their crown and run off. It's full of stuff like that, man. It's well good. So yeah, that might have to be a stream.
Yeah, very good game.
Yeah, very excited for that game.
Anyway, last story is that there's going to be a Resident Evil Village showcase event on the 21st of January, and they're going to be showing, because it's going to be the 25th anniversary of the original game this year, and so there's going to be a new animated series and a new film and stuff. But then also Capcom are also teasing a new title as well that's coming, and we don't know if this is going to be a remake or something else, because they're already doing Resident Evil 4, so maybe there'll be another remake of the remake. I'm not sure what they're going to do with that. But I don't know, is anyone interested? Because I kind of am, because I really liked the last Resident Evil, and in VR it was absolutely fantastic. But
7 looked too much for me, but I'm interested to see what this one's about. Because the first trailer looked good, and then we saw the same trailer 3 or 4 times at the various next-gen showcases. So I'm interested to see more, see what type of game this is, because this is obviously more fanciful, like werewolves and stuff. So, yeah, interested to see what it's about for sure.
I hope that they don't do another remake of the first one again, because it just feels like they do that every couple of years. There seems to be a remake of that.
The remake of 4, has that already been announced?
Yeah.
No, isn't there fresh rumours about it or something?
No, it was announced.
I thought they had mentioned it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
I don't even know where you begin with that, though.
No.
What do you mean?
What? How do you even approach that?
Yeah, it's fucking sacred, isn't it? I would say there are maybe some quality of life improvements you could make, but I would get fucking shot for saying that.
Are you suggesting...
Edit that out.
Are you suggesting, Sean, that they should make it so that you can shoot and move at the same time?
Listen, I didn't say that. So no one can claim that I did.
You're doing that thing again when you back up. Listen to what I told you at the start of the show about making a comment and then running away from it.
No, honestly, I mean,
Make the comment.
You'll accuse me of doing exactly that. It has been too long since I played it, but I can imagine there are things you could change.
Coward. Absolute coward. We're going to have to stop having you on this show. You've got to stop being
It's just so comfy on the fence. It's just
That's not a fence. That's hiding in you being a fucking cupboard.
You just wedge one of the bits of wood between your cheeks, and you don't have to go anywhere. Never have to get off.
That's looking up at the top diving board and going, I might do it. Shit, Sean, are you going to do it? Nah. that's what that is. Really disappointing.
Point is, if they change anything, people kick off. You can't touch that game. What can you change about it that won't upset people? Nothing.
Definitely, people kick off.
Yeah.
You're the only person in the planet, and you're remaking it just for you, right?
Yep.
Do you let the character walk and shoot at the same time?
Very slowly, yes.
100% you do that.
No, I don't want to be able to sprint around. It's not Doom, obviously. But I think a limited bit of movement while you're aiming
they should do
is
it
fine.
with Resident Evil 2 remake.
Coward.
You can shoot on the run, but really you want to stop because you get better accuracy and better chances of quick shot.
You're still better off planting your feet and doing it properly.
Yeah.
But
Go on, Matt. Go on. Go for it. Go on. Come out with a wacky opinion about Resident Evil 4, what they should do. Lose the castle bit. Lose the castle bit. Go on.
Yeah, lose the castle
let's
bit.
go there.
And the guy with the bag over his head's got 2 chainsaws.
can we remove the attack? Yeah, no. If I'm doing it, just take the regenerators out. Fuck them. Horrible. No scary monsters in my horror game, please.
Yeah, the whole bit with wasn't that the one with the president's daughter where you had to do swimming and stuff?
You see, well, it's famously one of the few games with an okay escort section, isn't it? Like, it's actually not terrible.
The swimming bit was shit though, wasn't it?
I don't even remember it, so maybe, yeah.
No, okay, all right. Take that out and sell it to us as DLC.
The annoying thing about this is I haven't played 7, and 7 looks way too intense for me, and this is a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7, so kind of a bit
7 was so good.
Myself.
I really love that game.
Is that your next? Is that not your next stream? 7.
No.
Oh, come on, Matt! You're doing so well when it's the scary games.
7 in
I love
VR.
those ones. They're
I'd
really
love
good.
to watch you doing 7 in VR because I had to stop because it was
Yeah, that's not
absolutely
happening.
traumatic. It was horrible. Yeah.
But after the first, I heard that after the first hour, it gets much more like a standard Resident Evil game and less intense. Is that the case?
A bit, maybe a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and that's the news. Thank you so much, James, for ending us on a banger. It's time to get on to what you've been playing. And I think we'll start with Matt, because Matt has 13 games listed down that he wants to talk about.
Yeah, what? I mean, and they're all classics. Go on, Matt, what's going on?
Including the likes of Starbound, The Sims 4, ROBLOX, Castle of No Escape, and Castle of No Escape.
What have you been up to, Matt?
Matthew Murray.
It's
Why are you trying to fake it,
reward
James?
points,
Why are you
isn't
trying to fake it? Why are you trying to fake it? You know what he's been up to. We were talking about it last
we
night.
do know what he's been up to, obviously, but it's still, I don't know, it's just mad, isn't it?
Just taking it's not on a journey. Yeah, it's Microsoft reward points. They had a promotion whereby for every achievement you got, that was turned into points.
What does that mean?
But
Prizes.
basically, I played those games to earn a tenner.
Why did you do this?
I don't
How
know.
long did this take you?
The last few weeks of work, I've been like insanely busy, and like, so this is kind of something I'll do for like a little break. I'm like, okay, I'll get a stupid achievement there, and I'll do this. This is like my break, just saying to take my mind away from things to get back into the.
So I'm just going to play some games for money. That's what I'm going to do now.
I mean, yeah. So I played absolutely shitloads of games to basically get 10,000 game score in a week, because I don't know, something to do, something to keep my mind occupied.
So what's that £10 for? What, you get that in credit on the Microsoft Store, do you?
No, you get it in Microsoft Reward points to like to buy vouchers, to do all sorts of stuff. I think I've got like 180 quid's worth at the moment. My plan originally was, okay, I'll just keep saving my points and I'll just exchange it all for like a Curry's voucher or whatever. Or maybe at the time I was going to get an Xbox voucher to buy one of those Seagate, drives, the SSDs for the Series X. But I just kind of like, I'll just keep saving it.
How long has it taken you to get £180?
I've been doing it for years, but it's basically just like, it's basically like 5-10 minutes in the morning. Well, no, a couple of minutes in the morning to do your dailies. And then you might play some random Game Pass games here and there. Like, I said earlier, I'll play that Battlefront 2 thing because one of like the weekly, what they call like challenges or tasks, whatever, was to play. You wanted to get 15 kills in that mode. So I played a couple of games of that mode. Got 15 kills.
You don't need to do this though, Matt.
Yeah, I don't. It's just something to. I'm on the hamster wheel. I just quite enjoy the. Tuesdays is reset day, so tomorrow there'll be a new
play
weeklies.
a game that you like.
Yeah.
No, the funny thing is, right, so I've played loads of random games and to get all sorts of achievements, and some of these actually I like. So Island Saver is basically a NatWest advert in a game. It's a first person. Well, it's not. It is a shooter, but basically you're like a vacuum and stuff. Basically, you're in this gorgeous, island with creatures and nice sunshine and river and water lapping up at the edge of this island, and it's your job to go in and clean it using your device. You can like suck up trash and then throw it in these bins, and when you throw it in the bins you get some money, and then there's other little bits where you basically have like a little bank account and you have a little PIN number, and it tells you about interest and what tax and stuff is. It is basically it is
literally a NatWest game.
Yeah.
I thought you just like that was just trying to describe it. All right, fuck. Okay.
No, it's a NatWest game. It literally is by NatWest. But it's just kind of simple and kind of nice to be on the island, and I was enjoying cleaning up the bottles and the trash, and there's like enemy creatures which expel kind of oil around, and you have to clean that up, and you have to get water from the ocean to clean that up, and then you have to clean anyway, and there's those creatures and you have to do certain things to clean them up, and it's just kind of a nice pleasant game. I did that for a couple of achievements, but I played that for a little bit. Castle No Escape and Castle No Escape 2 are from a developer. I can't remember what the developer's called, but they're one of these developers whereby they basically give away thousands of achievement points in each one of the games. Now, I must have bought these last time when there was like another Gamer Score event that had it like in October, November, where again, up to the maximum 10,000 points, you got that in reward points.
Hang on, Matt, can I just ask you a question?
Yeah.
So you paid money for these?
I was going to say.
Yeah. So I think
£180.
I spent £4.29 for these. So I'm currently only earning £6 or £5. It doesn't matter about that. Yeah.
Wait. How much do you earn back on your £4 investment?
What, in terms of Gamer Score?
Yeah.
I didn't get all achievements because I think I got like 4,000 or 5,000 Gamer Score.
Right. And what does that equate to in money back from what you spent?
Well, that equates to £4 or £5.
Brilliant.
It's not about no, it doesn't matter. The Sims 4.
It is about this because I think I can convince you why this is the most ridiculous thing you've done.
Oh no, I know it's ridiculous, but I'm just kind of it's trying to keep my mind occupied.
But I think I can really hammer it home now.
Go on.
I think I can. Can I give it a go?
Mm-hmm.
Right. See, I mean, it sounds great. You've earned £180 worth of credit from the Microsoft Store in the past 3 years by doing this, right? I've just looked at your PSN account. It looks like you've barely played Miles Morales and Sackboy.
It's mad.
I haven't, yeah.
I know you love Spider-Man, Matt, and you spent £450 on that console, plus the £60 for Miles Morales or whatever they was charging for it, £50, plus the whatever it was for Sackboy, and you've not touched them.
Well,
come on, mate.
But these are silly little things just to do in between work. I haven't really been in the mood to play a big old game.
But
so
you can, it's not a big old game. Miles Morales is only about 6 hours, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's only about 8 hours
These are little
tops.
piecemeal things I can do in like 2 minutes here and 5 minutes there. That's all I needed
you
to
can
get
do
through
that in 2 minutes
You
there.
can do a
and
couple of
5
Sackboy
minutes.
levels
Do a little side
in that
mission.
amount of time, you know?
Well, this had a goal. This had something to achieve at the end.
Yeah, this has got a goal. You can complete a game that you love. You love Spider-Man.
Oh no, I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to sink
What do
some
you mean
time
you can't wait to play it? What do you mean you can't wait to play? You are waiting to play it.
I need proper time to sink into that game. I can't do it right now.
Instead, you're playing The Gardens Between, which I know you've completed.
Yeah, there's a couple of achievements I haven't got.
Right, okay. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which I'm sure you are sweating like a bastard while playing that.
Oh no, it's okay. I didn't need to get past the opening shot because there's like a cheat you can get to screen through the 6 or 7 nights, whatever it is.
All right.
It says 5 nights, so actually a spoiler, there's more than 5 nights.
No, Sean, no, not all right.
This is one of the strangest what you've been playing I've ever had. It's really interesting.
Korgan is like it's kind of like a. I've never played Diablo, but I think it's like a Diablo-like game. You get you can instantly switch between one of 3 characters. Like a
Matt, we don't care. We're
trying to get through to you. Quite enjoyed.
I want to hear about Roblox. What can you tell us about Roblox?
No, I mean that one was just literally. What was that one? I think that one was just basically going into a certain amount of games will give you an achievement. I did that a few times. Planet Coaster, I downloaded a save for that one. Minecraft, I went into a Realms.
Planet Coaster's actually good. You should just play it because it's good.
I need to get Minecraft, Sean.
Yeah, but I'm not going to have a go at... I'm not going to insist people should play Minecraft in 2021.
No,
it is really good.
It's good, Sean. I played it in 2009. I know it's a good game. That's what I'm saying.
But don't ever go at him. You're playing it now. When you've got, Matt, £180 over several years.
Just being fully honest, my head right now is not in the right place to start a big new game which I really want to enjoy when I've got time to relax. I have not got time to relax at the moment.
Or any small game. There's fucking loads of them.
Games properly and actually enjoy them. Right now, I'm just I have not got the
do you know what's killing me,
mental
James?
dexterity to do that. Was I have got time to do a stupid little thing to take my mind off things and then get back into it.
Do you know what's killing me? I'm getting really frustrated every day that goes by where I'm having to scan websites to try and get a PS5 when it drops, right?
Oh yeah, shame in it.
And Matt's got one sitting there while he's playing ROBLOX on the Xbox, not to even play it, just to get £4 worth of Microsoft vouchers.
Which will recoup the cost of the games that he's bought to do the points.
I think if I'm £4.78 up, actually, James. Yeah,
I've also got a feeling that Matt is also involved in some sort of community with this. There's a forum or a Reddit or something, is there?
Oh, yeah, there's a Reddit, of course.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, go on. How often are you visiting that?
Only every week.
Do we just let this go?
Because there's a link to, this week's thing, here's how you do this one. Because I played a bit of Monster Hunter as well, because one of the tasks was to
oh God, that's going to kill Matt. That's going to kill Sean.
But I couldn't bother, that stopped.
Oh my God.
Because it was going to be 45 minutes and I didn't have time for that one.
Any sort of playing of the game
I completely understand this, Matt. In terms of, I understand it in terms of you just want something which is not going to tax you too much. That's just sort of something you can focus on, whatever. But I don't understand why you do this. Why not just play some good games? Just play some virtual console games or something on the Switch or something.
Yeah, or an indie or anything.
Yeah, that are short and just you don't
have a couple of games of Tetris Effect.
Yeah,
or
I wasn't in the mood for that. I was in the mood to play Castle Nursecape 2.
No, you weren't in the mood to play
Sims 4.
No, you weren't in the mood to play those games. You were in the mood to just get achievements from them, which is...
this is this whole... I know I should stop. And basically, what's going to happen is...
yes, you should.
What's going to happen is... So I've been doing this, the dailies on the website will take 30 seconds, whatever it is. And then I will... Oh, God. I also... I also search...
Get it all out.
I also search for cat breeds every morning and dog breeds every morning. Because
what do you mean?
Bing...
I know I know this.
For everyone.
See, I did this as well for a little bit because you
had loads of points, didn't you?
I did, yeah, because I did this on because what Matt's talking about is that if you use Bing or whatever, I think you have to do 30 searches a day or whatever, you get points that then are added, to the thing.
Yeah, but you've got to use Bing.
Well, no, because
you just go to Bing.
No, you just do it and then just do the searches and then you're done. You don't use it as a search engine. But then
I did do that for a bit, and that was silly. It's just quicker just to go to the website.
Yeah, that was silly. That was too far, was it? Okay.
It was embarrassing.
I was doing it because I thought, okay, I'm going to save these points and then I'll use it to get Game Pass. When that runs out, I'll use it and exchange it for Game Pass points or whatever. But then, when we did the thing where we got loads of it for a long period of time, and I just thought, I can't be bothered with this anymore. It's a waste of time.
Yeah. Can I, if we're being honest, right, we're being completely open and honest, Matt, I would like to say this is a safe space, but we've spent the past 10 minutes taking the piss out of you about it, so, take that with a pinch of salt. Has there been a time where we've asked you to come on either Pro Clubs or Rocket League, and you've turned it down to do some of this?
No, I'm not doing that late into the evening.
Don't act like that's a crazy idea, Matt.
Well, I guess, yeah.
You can't just go, no, I would never do that.
No, this
you
is
shouldn't be doing this.
I'll do this after work or at lunchtime or, Partly why I got the Razer Kishi. I can do it wherever I want.
Oh, my God.
And how much was that?
I don't want to talk about it.
£8.
It's a worthy investment. I've got 240,000 points. It was all worth it. No, but I think what I was trying to say earlier was that this is one of the things that I get obsessed by loads of things, and then something will happen to almost break the seal and wake me up. And I've got all these points saved, and I think if I just spent them, I would probably never go on the website ever again and never bother.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
I'm
what
like,
you need to
save. And like I said, I was going to get at SSD, and I'm like, well, I'll just keep saving. And I'll just keep doing this until I save. And then one day I'll spend it, and then I'll be like, I'll never touch it ever again.
Good.
But
do that. Spend it. Right, here's your task then.
Well, no, I'm
spend
not,
it by
I'm
next
not
week's
spend it
show.
just because you say I like having some.
Spend it by next week's show.
No,
you've identified
that
that it's
thing
stupid.
keeps me warm at night. Like, I love the idea of like I can buy anything I want. I've got like those points in my back pocket.
Matt,
I love it.
You've identified that it's a fucking terrible thing to do. You've identified that it's pointless.
Stupid fun.
Yeah, but it's not
loads of great games as a result. Island Saver, hello.
When was the last time you played a game that you really fell for, that you really loved?
Probably Sega Rally.
Fair enough. I cannot believe Miles Morales. I mean, I am super
genuinely really
pumped
excited
for
to play
the
it, but
PS.
I can't right now.
Yes, you can.
No,
That's
because
what I'm saying.
I would have to that you'd have to dedicate enough of brain power and space and time to actually probably get into it. I'm not gonna play for 5 minutes and stop.
But there are loads
How much
of
brain
short,
power, time, and
really,
space have you got, Matt?
There are so many
Not a lot.
short and not demanding games that are good that you could play instead.
No, because I didn't want because I would have to. I want to. That's the kind of games I want to play. This so I can literally turn everything off and just do it, and it's I've accomplished a goal. Let's move. Let's go back to doing other stuff.
I mean, have you?
Yeah, yes, I got an achievement on Planet Coaster.
I mean, I'll tell you this, Sean. I'm looking forward to the feedback to next week's show. This is the reaction's going to be interesting.
There's probably plenty of people who've done the same thing.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'd say exactly the same thing to them as well.
Just a bit of fun, isn't it? Love marks up points.
It doesn't sound like it is a bit of fun, though. That's the thing.
Well, I played Rec Room. Anyway, should we move on?
How much of Sackboy have you played?
Energy and I played the first couple of levels in co-op, and then I went on to Astrobot and then didn't go back.
Okay.
Not that I don't want to. Not that I don't want
And
to.
how far into Miles Morales are you?
I think I did basically the first cutscene. So
Right, Cammy, can you find the bits where we watched the Miles Morales trailers and how Matt was talking about how excited he was for that game, and then maybe splice in a couple of cuts of Matt being excited about the PS5?
I'm excited to play that game, but I can't right now.
You can though if you break
I
free
can't.
from this.
I'm too stressed.
Yes,
I
you
can't.
can.
No, I can't.
Yes, you can. How much time a day do you think that you put into this?
Well, when these promotions aren't on, it's 30 seconds or a minute, say, in the morning.
When these promotions are on?
Well, just 3 or 4 days, probably. Obviously
What, 3 or
not
4
solid.
No, how much time a day?
I don't,
About an hour a day
I tell you
or
what, the
30
next
minutes
one,
a day?
this will probably be my last one because I feel like I've already done all the easy games where you get an easy 1,000 points. I think this is it now.
So that's what I'm saying. Spend that money then.
I can't believe I did this one so soon after the last one because the last one was in October, November, and rinsed all the ones I ever mentioned. There's there's a bunch of them, and now this. I'm like, well, the next one I've got nothing left.
Have you done
So spend
King
the money,
Kong on
be
Xbox
free.
360, Matt?
360 achievements didn't count for this one.
Ah, shame. You've done Sneak King as well.
Okay.
That's an easy one here.
If only.
How you holding up, Sean? How are you dealing with this?
I've ordered an expensive radio control car.
Oh yes, which one did you get? Which one did you get, Sean?
I got the one that I linked to.
Cool.
The what the fuck was it called? The WL Toys. Fuck, it's got a really weird name. WL Toys 124019.
Oh, that's my favourite.
It's the best one.
Cool.
That's what
All
I'm
right.
playing this week.
Good. Sean,
Shall I go?
where do we go from here?
Jesus. Still playing Sea of Thieves. You don't need to hear more about that.
What, for enjoyment?
Yeah.
You idiot.
Fuck, what a rube. What else? Fuck, sorry, I'm don't know. My head is fucked this evening. I don't know if anyone's noticed. I've been playing Hitman 3, except not really, because I've loaded it up and I've played a bit of the first new level in Hitman 3, and it's absolutely staggering.
Hang on. Is that already? Is it?
It's not out yet, is it?
Got contacts, haven't I?
Well, hold on. I want to play that.
Haven't we got contacts?
Yeah, but it wasn't an official thing, was it? It's from a mate.
Is
anyway.
It? All right. Well,
Anyway.
that means we get even more codes.
Plus, it was a PC code, so...
Yeah, no, fuck that. Also, Matt, you can't ask for a code because instead of playing it, you'll be playing some game that no one's heard of.
I don't want a code. I haven't asked for a code in ages. That's just for idiots.
So yeah, I've had a look around the new level, and it's absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to get stuck into it. However, I'm looking at the menus, and I'm like, I might just play from the very start with Hitman 1 and go, because Hitman 1 I played up to, so I did Marrakesh and then I stopped for no good reason. I think it's because, was it the next one after that was Colorado, and everyone said that was a bit wank, and because I'm an idiot, that was enough to throw me off. So I didn't play any after that, and I even though I've got Hitman 2, I've never touched it. So I'm just looking at the menus, just like, fuck, I could do all this. This would be amazing.
Wasn't the controversy this week that they originally were asking PC owners to have to rebuy?
They were.
The games. Now they've said they're working on a way to get the games into Hitman 3.
Port it over, because it's an Epic Store exclusive on PC, which I'm not thrilled about, just because of, like, it would be nice to be able to do Steam Link with it and stuff. But I mean, you could add it as manually to Steam as a non-Steam game, but I've found that trying to do like remote play with that setup is a bit wonky. So I don't know, but so basically it is a bit irritating. But as you say, apparently they are working on it. But yeah, so if you pay, I think it's like £75 for the Super Deluxe Bastard Edition, you get everything that's ever been in Hitman. But doesn't it? I think if you buy it on a format where you already own Hitman 1 and 2, then it just brings the levels in anyway. Yeah.
Apart from the PC until they work on that fix.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so I've not spent a huge amount of time on it. It's just interesting that I'm like, cool, new Hitman. What a great excuse to play through the old stuff first, because what I did play I barely remember, and then there's loads of it I haven't touched, and it all looks brilliant, and I'm really excited. So that's kind of all I have to say about it. What is really interesting is in the menus, is that like you can view it as like story mode, right? And it's like, here's all the levels, here's all the the little cutscenes between them, and if you click on a level you haven't done yet, it's like you probably want to watch like this cutscene first, or this because this isn't going to make sense, or whatever. But you can just view the levels as like a list of locations, which barely makes any real difference. I just like the acknowledgement that some people are like, I don't give a shit about the story, I just want to go places and murder folk. Like it, because that's all that game is to some people. Apparently, the story's okay.
I've heard the story's really good.
Yeah, and then like, in the third one, there's an actual arc as well. There's much more to it.
Yeah, it starts off with basically sort of gives you a sort of précis of the first two games, which obviously I needed. But yeah, it sounds like there is more story stuff in 3 as well. So yeah, it's just a weird feeling to sort of get a new game and then just be instantly excited to go back and play the first two. But so I think I was just going to be digging through that for the next few weeks at least.
I've got the first two on Xbox, and obviously I streamed the first one.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But like, if I were to get Hitman 3, I would love to see what's like on PSVR.
God, yeah, there is that. I mean, it can't be great, can it? I mean, visually.
No, but I would want to see what a Hitman is like in virtual reality.
Haven't they shown any of that?
Yeah, they've
thought it was a
shown
trailer.
Yeah, there's footage, yeah.
What does it look like?
Don't know, not seen it.
It looked fine, but
I've just assumed it can't
to you in the headset. But it looked fine and interesting enough for me to want to see what that world is like in first person in VR.
Yeah. But so that will be a thing for the next few weeks.
When's
at least,
it out officially, Sean?
I think it's the day the show comes out, isn't it?
Okay, so I haven't seen reviews yet. That's probably tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Exciting. Cool.
But yeah, the main game I've been playing this week is Mars Horizon on the Switch. This is a game where you are running like your own space agency and you are racing to get the first person on Mars, basically. It's kind of like it is basically just a game about project management. It's not like like Kerbal Space Program where you're designing the ships and doing test flights and stuff, and it's all sort of very physicsy, and it's very much about figuring out like the logistics of like building a spaceship. Like in this, you do design ships, but it's all sort of statistics based stuff. So like different parts will have like different thrust capabilities or reliability stats and costs and build times and whatever, and it's all just a case of like weighing that stuff up. But it's properly addictive. It's like all you're doing is like you've got a base, which you're managing. You build buildings which allow you to do new stuff or make things more efficient, and you're just like planning missions. So you'll start out, obviously you start out in like the mid to late 50s, I think, and it's just going through the stages of like, right, just get a rocket off the planet. And you'll do that, and the first few will just explode because the reliability is not very good. But the more you send up, like your scientists figure more stuff out, everything gets more reliable, and you get safer. And then it's like, right, let's get a satellite up and start getting some readings. Then it's let's get a dog up or a monkey, and then obviously, and then you're progressing, and like the solar system starts opening up, and it's like, right, here's the moon, like start sending stuff there, and then Mars and Venus and etc. And I've just found it really addictive and really interesting. Like, obviously, it helps that I'm interested in space anyway. But it's just been proper nice. It does it like there's this little mini game. So when you like go out on a mission, you have like a lot of it is just sort of like invisible dice rolls, right? So when you go to launch a mission, it'll say so there's like the weather conditions will sort of affect like the percentage chance of the rocket blowing up, and it'll sort of say like, look, you've got like an 85% chance of a good launch, and then you sort of make the decision as to whether or not you go for it. And then once the rocket's in the air, and say you've put a satellite up, and it's supposed to be doing scans of Earth or whatever, or solar radiation, something like that. There's then this like weird sort of like resource management mini game where you have like a series of turns and like a certain amount of like power to use, and it's a case of like spending power to sort of generate certain types of like readings or data, and then you can sort of spend those to generate others, and you have to do it a lot, and I think I must be about 10 hours in. I'm now at the point where that stuff is maybe getting a bit boring, but the general like project management side of it is just actually really enjoyable. And sort of looking at like, say you're racing to get the first astronaut on the moon, and you're like, right, well, China's 2 years off, the USA's a bit closer. If I build this rocket, it'll cost this much, but it's going to take 2 years to build, so that's going to be too long. So if I can but then there's also this one that costs a bit less and is a bit less reliable, but I'll be able to build it quicker. So that, and it's all just like this constant like risk management and sort of balancing that against like time and money. But it's just, and it's just properly compelling. Like the pacing of it is just perfect because it's, it's a management sim that takes place over years and years and years, but like you always have a button that is just skip time to the next event. You're never like sitting around waiting for anything to happen. And I've just, it's proper good. It's another one of these that I'm like, why isn't this on my phone? And like, obviously having it on the Switch is great. But there's no touchscreen interface, which there clearly could be. Like it's on PC as well. And obviously you play it with a mouse. It's the sort of thing I'd love to have on my phone, but then they don't like, if this sort of game was made for the phone, obviously it'd be all in real time and there'd be microtransactions and notifications badgering you and stuff. I've really loved it. It was like 13 quid or something, and I've been having a great time with it.
Sure. What are you playing this on?
Switch.
Yeah, because I was going to say there is a Switch version, so can't be. Is it?
James not listening there.
No, just clarifying for other people that may be listening.
What was it called? And what do you do in it?
It's not like I was saying. Obviously, in terms of it being portable, like the Switch is great. It's just because it's all menu based. Like they've done a pretty good job with the controls. It's just there are certain instances where, like, at any one time, pretty much anything you would want to click on instantly, there is a button shortcut for. but then sometimes there just isn't. Even though there are spare buttons they could have used, and then you're like moving a cursor around with the stick and stuff. It's just a bit unwieldy. But yeah, it's great. It was cheap, and yeah, it's just good. I like it. And that's it from me.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll do a quick one. I finished that Gears Hivebusters DLC.
Oh yeah.
Slightly longer than we thought it was. Like we weren't as far into it as I thought we were. That is weird. What a weird thing that is. I mean, it's the first part of what looks like an ongoing story, but it just makes some very strange decisions. Look, Gears, like shooting, is good fun. I could do that all day long, and we did that for many, many hours back in the day, didn't we? And I mean, it is a little bit dated, the whole rushing up to a bit of cover and then peeking over and taking things out or whatever. But, you know, it feels good when you're being swamped by enemies and being flanked all the time. And, yeah, all that stuff feels great. The sniping feels as good as it did back then, and still remains some of the best sniping in, like, a co-op game like that. It's just really fun to play, but my word, they make some weird decisions with this. For starters, it's a free-player co-op game that is filled with story, right? That's never good, because when you're playing with like two other mates or whatever, you don't want to be sitting through cutscenes. You just don't. I don't think that's ever worked, has it?
No, not really.
No, it can't do. I mean, like
You
I said,
played
I still
Destiny.
don't remember a single second of Halo 4 because Migo and James played that together.
Yeah, exactly. That and Destiny playing that.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
like
Destiny,
the cutscenes, I'm like,
always,
whatever.
Yeah, like Destiny, I always play, whenever there's a new expansion, I play through most of the story stuff just by myself because, I mean, not that the story's even that good, it's that constant tension, isn't there, of like, well, do we talk over the cutscenes or not? Because talking over them seems sort of disrespectful, but ultimately I'm playing with my friends because I want to hang out with my friends and talk to them.
Yeah, and shoot things with my mates, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't
yeah.
want to sit there in
I'm
silence.
the same. I would want to play that through on my own to actually understand it and then...
Well, what's even worse is the fucking story in this is terrible. Like, it's terrible. It's, you know, it just... there's bits in it that don't make sense. Some lines. I sent you a clip from a big pivotal moment, Sean, in that game. A big story moment that is so poorly handled, where this big reveal happens and one of the characters involved just goes, "That's right." That's it. Like that was the big pivotal moment. It was just ridiculous. Yeah, I've got to send it. Have you sent it to you, Matt?
I don't know.
I'll send it to you. It's fucking hilarious. But also, there's so many moments where you're fighting bosses. There's loads of boss fights in this, right? And there's so many moments where you're like, right, so let me give you an example. There was one where there was this huge enemy, like massive enemy. It was like something out of Destiny. And there were these pillars everywhere. And the first thing it does is swipe for you, miss you, and smash one of the pillars, right? And I was playing with John, and he said, right, okay, here's what you got to do. Blatantly, we've got to try and get him to smash all of the pillars down, right? And maybe something falls on his head, and that's how you do the boss battle. And then we were like, okay, right, let's try and bait him over here, and then run around here and do this. And then I think someone else just went, no, if you just shoot him in the head, his health bar goes down. Oh yeah. Oh, now he's dead. And it was like, so okay, fine. And then the whole part of this game, like, because it is a first part, builds up to this huge boss fight against this really cool looking enemy. Like, it's a really cool looking enemy, and they tease it in the level before the one that you actually fight it, and you finally get to fight it. I think it lasted 30 seconds. We just filled it full of bullets and it died. And it was like, there was nothing else to that. There was nothing else to it. It was just odd. Do you remember the swarm enemies from Gears 5, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the big hurricane of these leeches or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably the worst enemy that's ever been in a game ever.
It's basically kind of like a shit version of the Flood, and the Flood weren't great.
It's not even that, because they stick together. So all it is this, it looks impressive because it's loads of enemies going around in like a little hurricane around you. But all you do is shoot at it, and then it gets a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller, and then it goes away. And it's like, okay, fine. They've introduced this other enemy, which is this weird lizard thing that looks at you from afar and goes, "Rah!" And then its tail goes and flings acid at you. And it's, yeah, I mean, we were talking about the visuals when we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago and how it was getting bigged up in some places. There are some areas that look really good, and they're later on in this expansion or this DLC. But ultimately, I just think, who is this for and why are people playing it? Because certainly not for the story. The lines that are being delivered all over the place are just absolutely shocking. The music is terrible. The fighting, the shooting is great, and that's great. If they just focused on all that shit, fine. But instead, it just does these weird boss fights out of nowhere that aren't fun to play. There's this one level that has about 14 slides in it. You know, the whole sliding thing that you've seen in Uncharted and Fallen Order and all that sort of stuff. There's one level in that is just hilariously full of them. Like, you're walking through these caves, and there was one bit where you open a door, and then suddenly you're sliding down again. Like, oh! Honestly, every time that happened, we were just belly laughing because it was just so bad, and these slides go on forever. What a weird piece of content to release this is. It's just
you should
strange.
You should play Gears 5 and let me know how that compares.
I should do, and we would have done if it was free player. But as I said, it is free player, but one of you has to be the robot. Yes, we will do it, James.
Should we play Gears 5? Because I need to play that, because I finished Gears 4
I think I've
quite
still got
recently.
it installed.
And I'd quite like to play it.
Well, it's on Game Pass, yeah.
It'd be good to play it in...
Not from the beginning, though, where we were up to last time, yeah?
Yeah, probably, if I've still got the... Well, you'll have the save, won't you?
I think we were good for... Yeah, I think we were good 3 or 4 hours into it.
I feel like I was just thinking how funny it'd be to offer to join you and just be like, "Robot's the best character, mate."
Yeah, I'm being the robot. Yeah, you
I'm
can be the robot.
I'll only play if I can be the robot.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can do that.
I must insist on being a robot.
I want to play Mario Odyssey, but only if I'm Cappy.
He's a Cappy main. He's a robot main, is Sean.
Yeah, I'll be up for that. I think I've still got it installed. But just what?
You say yub yub?
No.
What is it? Yub yub?
Nub nub.
No? Are you alright, Matt?
No, it sounds like yub yub.
I think we've gathered that none of us are 100% tonight, are we?
Yeah, but some are a lower percentage than others. Sure,
Yeah, James.
I think. Did you just say yup yup?
Listen to the tape. It sounds like yub yub to me.
Oh, well, I'll listen to it back. I'll rewind it. So I would say, unless you're really into Gears, don't bother. But if you are really into Gears, then you might get something out of it that I didn't. But that is, just a strange bit of content, I thought. So that's
How long was it?
That
You said it was longer than you anticipated. How long was it?
about 5 hours, maybe 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
It's not massively long. We did it in 2 sittings, but I think we thought it was 2 to 3 hours.
How many achievement points do you get for it?
I don't know. You'll have to ask
Bloody
Matt.
good point, actually.
Matt, look at your spreadsheet.
Because tomorrow's weekly, I need to get 3 achievements in the same game to carry on the
Spend that money before the next podcast.
I'm not spending it, Dave.
But you've already said that this is the last time you're doing this.
If I spend that, what else have I got?
You've said this on the podcast, that this is the last time you're doing this achievement hunting thing, right?
Well, only because I've probably run out of games that give me an easy 1000G.
Okay, so spend that money. And then you're free.
Yeah, you're probably
You
right.
can load up a game that you're insanely excited about, and you can play that game on your £450 games console.
I probably still want to play Spider-Man because my head's not in the right place to be playing games. I want to enjoy that game, and right now I can't.
Play Rocket League then.
Yeah, I need to do something, but
Okay. Right, that's me, James. What games you got for us this week?
I've only got 2 things that are, one of them is quick because I've been playing Yakuza 4, and I'm not going to dwell on this because it's another Yakuza game, so you've heard me talk about them repeatedly over the last year or whatever since I've been playing them.
Is it wacky?
No, not particularly. This one's a bit. This one's different from 3 in the sense that there's separate characters that you play as, and I'm enjoying that because you don't start off as Kiryu, so it's like a different character, different perspective. You play as this guy who's like a loan shark, and it's pretty good. So I'm quite enjoying it, and it's also now shifted back in time as well to 1985, which is pretty good. And the only thing that I'm not so happy about it is that obviously it doesn't look good at all. It really doesn't look good. I took a screenshot the other day and I meant to upload it because the main characters, they've obviously done work on them and they look not bad at all. But then when you compare them with other characters just walking around, it looks like I don't know. It looks like worse than GTA 4 on the 360. Like, it really looks bad. It's.
I was going to say, because what was this? This was 360 originally, was it?
Yeah, it's PS3. Yeah, originally, and so it's like it's. But the problem is some parts of the game have been like remastered and updated, like like textures and all that kind of thing look better. Like the storefronts look really good. The ground looks brilliant, all that kind of thing. And then it's kind of odd to see these characters walking around that don't look like they belong there really, because they're so sort of low poly and like don't look great. But I'm still enjoying it. It's still very good. And so I'm looking forward to getting back to that. But the main thing I've played, but not even a huge amount of, is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Because, Asher got it for Christmas, and because he was a huge fan of Breath of the Wild and finished it, and he wanted to play this, but then he's not bothered playing it yet. So...
Was he like, oh yeah, I love Breath of the Wild, loaded it up and gone... What the fuck is this?
Pretty much. Yeah, he was not terribly impressed by it, because I think the thing that he loved about Breath of the Wild obviously was the exploration and all that kind of thing. Whereas with this, it's nothing like that. And I did explain this to him before he got it. I was like, this is like just a fighting game. It's not even a very great fighting game, probably. It's all right, isn't it, Sean? I mean, it's not.
Just to check before we go any further, have you already spent more time on it than I did when I nominated it for Game of the Year?
Well, saying that, I did look that up today, because I was just thinking, where do we stand here? And I'm about at the same level, actually, I think, as you were when you nominated it for Game of the Year.
Hold on. There's an even better question here.
Yeah.
How much more have you played of it since you nominated it for Game of the Year, Sean?
Oh, none.
Oh my God! Right, okay.
See, still intending to. It's it's because it's a physical game on the Switch, and that is it's the same reason I haven't played Luigi's Mansion 3, which is clearly a classic. Like it's
one of your 4 favourite games of last year. You can't be bothered to put into the games console.
No, it's because Isaac's playing quite a few Switch games now as well.
No, it's not. It's because you like that series and you wanted it in the list.
Starlink, Dave.
Based on
cartridge.
Just the fact that you like that series, that was it. That's the only reason it made it on there.
No, it's proper good. I mean, go on, James, you talk about it.
It is good.
It's a proper good game for 2 hours.
I know why it's good, guys, but James, if you could explain why it's good for the rest of us.
I don't want to usurp James's...
Go on.
Did James
usurp for why?
Past the title screen.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot to do in this game, which I don't. It does that thing where it opens up the map and then it keeps adding new things to do, which sounds good. But when there's it starts to get a bit sort of Assassin's Creedy in the sense that there's just so many sort of things that you have to go and try out and everything. But one of the things I do like about it, when I first started playing it, it felt, because I played Hyrule Warriors, the original one, and I did enjoy that, but it did feel quite mindless to me, most of the time. Whereas this one does feel like there's a greater degree of combat variety, because the characters you play as seem to be more interesting in the way that they go about things. Particularly, I mean, you've unlocked Zelda, presumably, Sean? And, how she uses all the different elements and everything, and how you can
I thought you were going to test him then. What does Zelda do? Sure.
Yeah. I mean, Sean's like, Zelda's in it.
When I was talking about it, because I did mention this on the Game of the Year show, but go on.
No, to be fair to him, he don't remember much about that Game of the Year show, does he? Yeah. You can't have going for that.
But you were right. You're absolutely right about that, because that is one of the things which is sort of saving it for me at the moment. And I'm enjoying it, though, in the sense that at the moment, I also don't really feel like I want something which is going to really massively sort of tax my mind while I'm playing it. And this doesn't, but it still feels sort of nice to do it, because the challenges are really short. You can do like a sort of a quick challenge. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes, and it's kind of the perfect thing to sort of pick up, play a bit, and then put down, and then you can do a longer mission later on. I was quite surprised to see that, because I had a look to see how long it was, and it was worked out around 25 hours or so, and I found that I've done probably about half of the main story missions. But then the thing is I think it's just because they keep giving out all these other small side missions and stuff to do, which obviously pads it out quite a lot. But it does have because part of the plot of the story is that you're supposed to sort of pilot the divine beasts from Breath of the Wild, and so it does have these sort of side levels where you're doing that, you're sort of just basically just going down a tunnel just sort of destroying everything, and the Switch really can't handle that. It's it's just like slow down, dropping frames, everything, but it still looks really cool, and it's it's pretty good. I mean, I want to play it in co-op. I'm going to see if I can get Ash to try that this week. But yeah, it's good.
Online, I assume not.
Say again?
It's online co-op, does it?
No, I don't think so. No, I think it's only local. And I've heard that obviously it takes quite a hit as well, like in terms of performance. As soon as you do that,
struggling as it is as well.
yeah,
Ash,
it really does.
Asher, come here. Come and play your birthday present that I got you that was definitely for you. A Christmas present that I got you that was definitely for you. Come and play it with your old man and be my co-op partner. Come on.
He wanted it. He wanted it. This was not my idea at all. And I thought somebody's got to play it because no one else is going to. It's it's true. Honestly, this is genuinely true. You can ask Jen. It's true.
James, with Asher loving Breath of the Wild so much, were you not tempted to pick up Immortals Phoenix Rising to see if he got anything out of that?
No, not at all.
Oh, thanks, Dad. What a great Christmas. I got 3 Yakuza games. Yeah, aren't you a lucky boy? I'll be taking those.
It's a remastered package. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Comes with this shot glass as well. It's pretty cool.
But it's on Game Pass. I know I'd buy it for multiple systems. So this is what I do. This is what I do. Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got really this week.
Good. All right. Then let's get on to your questions.
If you want to send us a question, visit.
That was nearly a song. That was nearly a song. I like that.
That was almost like, if you like another chocolate biscuit.
Sean, turn it into a song.
Sorry?
Turn it into a song. Go on, give it a go now.
It was a banger.
Okay, sorry. We were talking over you. Demanding you turned it into a song.
Humour.
Okay, let's
Kyle.
go.
Got a few short ones. Kyle says, for David and James, just finished Dark Calls. Wonderful to feel like I was experiencing the game all over again. On the last episode, you mentioned if a remaster came out that you would tackle the DLC. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
It's unlikely, isn't it, at this stage?
Yeah, I just got really tired of the Souls thing.
Yeah, same.
And by the time I tried Sekiro and got beaten by the first semi-difficult enemy, I was like, I can't do this again. I can't do it. That's not the game. It's me. Let's face it.
It's the game, isn't it?
Not really. Everyone says it's amazing that plays it. Matt really enjoyed Sekiro, and
incredible.
I just can't. I can't face it. So I don't
you've got to want to push through, but it's really rewarding if you do. But yeah, I can. I know if you don't.
What's next for that team?
Do
we know?
Ring,
Yeah, it's the Elden Ring, isn't it, that they're doing?
What's the Elden Ring?
Martin.
It's a new George R. R. Martin penned FromSoft game.
Okay, all right. Cheers. I'll ask you a question. Got an answer.
Alex79 UK says, hello lads, I know some of you played Captain Toad Treasure Tracker and wondered if it's any good for kids. My 5-year-old is asking for it. He's completed Mario Odyssey on his own, but I know Toad is a puzzle game, so it's quite different. For what it's worth, he didn't like Mario and Rabbids because there's too much reading. He says, thanks, and for the love of God, respect the sea. Good advice.
When did we not respect the sea?
Have we been somewhat cavalier towards the sea lately?
Yeah, we slagged off the sea. The fucking the fucking waves and that. Oh, it makes me sick.
Get away.
Yeah, sometimes I just piss in it from a boat.
Jellyfish. Ooh, what's the point? Yeah.
Well, no, that's we're talking about the sea here, Matt, not the things in the sea. We're talking about the actual sea.
Yeah, but the
Too
sea
much of
contains
it.
the things, therefore the things are part of the sea, therefore...
Why is it blue everywhere except for England and it's green? Why?
I'm 2/3 of the planet's surface.
Yeah, arrogant. Yeah. I'm expanding because of global warming. Oh, good for you.
Global warming.
It is a warning, Matt. That's what I call it, yeah?
It's it's no politics, please.
Okay, go on.
Captain Toad, 5-year-old to play Captain Toad, right? Especially if they've finished Mario Odyssey. Jesus Christ!
Definitely. I would definitely recommend it because it's very good. And
That's another one I've been tempted to get again on the Switch. They didn't add much for the Switch version, though, did they? If anything,
Like 3 levels, didn't they?
Yeah.
I should just get the Wii U out.
Don't. Just
No
ban
one's going to
Switch.
do that.
Didn't they mention last week there's an update for that? I saw that in the news. I'm sure I saw Captain Toad in the news. I'm sure there's they've updated some stuff in that.
No, he killed a man. That's why he's over in the news. We're not trying to, that's why you can't get the game many places now. They've taken it off the shelves.
Luke Watts says, "Hello, lads. Who can do the best Mario impression?"
Oh, good question. Okay, who are we going to start with? I'm thinking Matt Murray.
Let's go.
That's not bad. I don't think the go was there, but the let's was. I thought that was a good let's.
Yeah, they said that about me a lot in the past.
The go went a little bit Bogner, but other than that, the let's was
my roots, isn't it?
Go on, James.
It's a me, Mario.
Pathetic. That is the worst one I've ever heard.
Wow.
Thanks.
Go on.
Actually, I was going to do this. We can't do the same quote, can we?
Yeah, of course you can. Do what you want.
Okay. It's a me, Mario.
Well, that's not bad. I would say Matt's got it so far.
Yeah,
I'm not good at Mario, I don't think. But
you're a Luigi guy, aren't you?
I'm a Luigi guy. Yeah. Let me give this a go because I haven't done this in ages. Whoa! Let's go. It's a me, a Mario. I can't do the Mario
How
bit.
many are you doing? All of them? Like, what's that about?
Well, there wasn't a limit, was there?
You keep doing it, you sort of dial into it over time, don't you?
Exactly. It's like 15 hours later. I've nailed that.
Try and do the falling off the ledge thing. What? Yeah, no, that's not very good. I think Matt's probably taken that. Yeah. I'm not...
Biggest Mario fan confirmed.
I think no. I think James was the weakest. I don't know. Let us know what you think.
Vote now.
Yeah, vote now.
We'll do a poll.
Yeah, we'll do a poll.
Box to ruin again.
Yeah, we can't do a poll, can we? Fuck.
Well, hang on. Why does this poll say that Black Future 88 does the best Mario impression?
Okay, next question.
MD Kriboff says, "Dear Tornado Chase has gone sleepy. How would you spend your ideal birthday?"
Oh, good question.
Oh, yeah, on my own.
I don't know about. Am I the only one who's currently staring down a second lockdown birthday at the current rate?
I had mine last week. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's
your first lockdown birthday. Yeah.
It's gone from thinking I was a bit unfortunate for being the one person to have a lockdown birthday to everyone's had one now to I might be special for having two of them.
Well, no, not everyone did have one because Joe's birthday's in August. Hers was fine.
That's true. Yeah, so some people slipped through the net, sort of didn't they? We
were in the garden. It was fine. It wasn't like a normal birthday. We couldn't go out to restaurants and bars and stuff, but not like we do that anyway. but we had a little gathering in the garden. What perfect birthday would probably be: wake up, go to a cafe, go to a pub, go watch.
See, that's where mine's different. Mine not be to wake up.
go to Millwall, watch a good game of football, then come back and maybe go for a meal. Yeah, go for a meal like a steakhouse or something, and then go home and get a nice early night. That would be my perfect day. I think. Love that. Yeah, no one else want to join in?
I'd just like to.
I thought you were about to say, and now you, Sean.
All right, and now you, Sean.
If I could go cinema with Isaac and then a fucking Five Guys or something.
Yeah, a fucking Five Guys? What?
Fucking Five.
Perfect order right there.
Yeah, mate.
How discreet do you have to be when you fucking Five Guys?
Isaac, we've had
That's an episode title.
Yeah, Isaac, you've enjoyed the cinema. There you go home. Daddy's got some birthday things to attend to.
Sit there, kids. I've just got to go fucking Five Guys.
It's my kid's birthday.
Why is it I'm not allowed to talk about wanking and stuff? And yet
well, now you've gone past wagon to fucking Five Guys.
I'm just having a nice burger, mate.
What a lovely birthday.
It's that what you tell the manager when he catches you? Ooh, okay, James, your perfect birthday, please.
You're not going to top of Sean's.
No, because it's just boring, isn't it? I just want to be left alone and just sit there and eat a curry or something.
No, you don't. You complain if you get left alone.
No,
oh, everyone says happy birthday to David, but they don't say it to me.
No, that's different. That's different. That's online, like, credibility or whatever. That's different to at home. At home, I just want to be left alone.
But just, online, you want to be hailed as some sort of god. Is that where we
exactly? Yeah. But at home, I just want to be left alone to just do whatever. I don't know.
Oh, Matt, we should have said
it was my 40th during lockdown, and it was terrible. It was really miserable. But there you go.
Yep. Think about this. There's a perfect answer to me passing this on to you. Right? Just think about what your reply should be to this. Matt, what would your perfect birthday be?
Getting those achievements.
Well, no, that's not it. You should have said.
What said?
You should have said. I never thought I'd say this, but I want to hear more from Sean. Come on, go on.
My day.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cortana fucking started when I said that. Mental.
Cortana?
Yeah, I don't know.
Does that
Is there even a thing on this or Windows 10? Jesus.
No, of course it does. He's trying to get the points.
No, because now I've got a search saying how my day. That's 3 points. Thank you in the bag. Yeah, so there's a lot to pack in if it's going to be my perfect day. But get up, go karting. Definitely
get up, go like wake up and you're in the go kart already.
Yeah, but maybe wake up. Maybe I'll sleep in like a giant car bed, and then wake up straight to the go kart track.
I've seen you go karting though. You're rubbish.
No, I'm not. I'm great. I'm fucking great. So go karting definitely. Probably go shopping where I can spend some money on something that I really want, or just for the sake of it.
Yeah, but do you not just walk around shops going, it's all cheaper online though, isn't it? Waste of money.
No, because it's a perfect day. I have money to buy whatever I want. It's like a nice little treat. And then definitely go see a film. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Also go watch like a midday football match in the pub. That'd be brilliant. Probably end up just going home crying and wanking.
Can I change my answer?
Yes.
I want to go to Moscow. That'd be good.
Okay, next. Let's not question it. Let's just. I want to go to Moscow.
I mean, those are quite some varied days, weren't they?
They were. They were indeed. Should we get on to the next question?
Please. Sarah Ralston says, please, please, please help me settle a bet. Did you change your show's name last year after realising the Chris Gethard show has a 2013 episode called TCGS number 99, looking at dicks for an hour?
No,
if only.
I wasn't aware of that.
Some context here, but
also, these shows are always way longer than an hour. Believe me, it just goes on too long.
Yeah, but just look at your dick for an hour. The rest of it you talk about games.
Yeah, I mean, you look at your dick throughout the whole podcast anyway, isn't it? That's what I heard. I heard James Farley sits there with his jumper on.
No. What you've done there is you've mistaken me for Sean and his five guys.
No, I haven't. I know how obsessed you are with your own penis, James. And I've got a feeling you've got a mirror underneath the desk for easy access to look at it.
He has like a periscope set up. We look forward.
No, he's got one of those like smart doorbell things, but he's put the camera at the, at it.
I'm under there, yeah.
So whenever there's movement, he gets like a notification. And he's got like a picture of it, So there's a stranger at your door.
Yes, there is.
I heard that he once strapped his Apple Watch to it so he could check the heart rate, see if it was different to the rest of his body. That's what I heard. Someone told me that. Is that true, James?
Are we finished? Can we just move on?
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's not true.
Is this a bad episode of the podcast?
I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying myself, Sean.
I'm thinking about all the poor listeners.
Starting to loosen up now.
Yeah, it's a bad episode of podcast. It's a bad. There's no getting around it. We were due one, and this is a bad episode of podcast. But I'll be honest, I'm really enjoying it.
I did a Cane and Rinse last night. That'll be out next week, and I've told everyone to listen to this. Fucking shock, aren't
No, yeah, but only be
one.
out.
Also, I'm aware that also throughout this podcast, I've been speaking very quickly. I think it's just because I feel really tired at the moment. I don't know what's going on.
I don't think you have, James. But
have I not?
Okay.
If anything, you've been slower.
yeah. I mean, Sean, only their patrons would hear it next week, so we just got to wait a month.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put out about
6 months
a banger,
or whatever the.
And their 6 listeners might listen to this podcast. Go on.
Maria Mendieta says, "Dear TCGS conversationalists, shopkeepers in games probably face more armed assaults from players than their real-life counterparts." I don't know about that. This is just one example of the type of abuse that NPCs have to endure. One might say they are the Farleys of the gaming world. If TCGS Co. were to start a documentary unit, which NPCs, daily or inner life, would you want to capture on camera, a la Louis Theroux?
Oh, God. The NPCs, what, you just want to follow around and see what they do?
Yeah, just get the Resident Evil 4, the shopkeeper guy.
Yeah, finding out what he goes about, his daily business, yeah. I would choose, the drunk guy in his pants in Shenmue 1, Sean? Matt,
which one?
James. Jesus Christ, I did it again. James, the one that goes when you walk up to him and then you say, like, how he usually does, like, hi, and then he goes, I'm all right. That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. Follow him around, see what's going on. Or that dancing dude in his underpants in Yakuza 0. That would be another one. Just follow him around, see what he's up to, what he's getting on.
Tom from Shenmue, the dancing guy who teaches, like, on the docks, who teaches
the racially problematic hot dog salesman. Yeah,
that's Tom. What's he up to in 2021? I just want to know how.
It's regretting his decisions.
Where did he go? I can't remember.
He goes back to America. Sorry, in quotes, back to America. Just a weird fucking whole thing that is. Just yeah. And people like, when I played that game, people were like in the chat, "Oh, it's Tom, you're going to love Tom." And then I think that's not dissing them, right, the people that were watching, because I think at the same time they went, "Is this okay?"
Ooh, actually.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
Matt?
The Onion Dude? Is it Sig Meyer in Dark Souls?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
I'm sure
that's
that
a good shout.
Is like, well, no, obviously he's got a great lore and great story, but I still want to.
I thought you were going to say that Onion Dude in Parappa, though. Like when you started that.
It's all in the mind.
Yeah. Just a documentary about his dojo. And eventually someone walks in and goes, "Listen, mate, we've done the dancing. Can we just get down to some karate, please? Because this is getting on my nerves a little bit."
I've just thought of a better one.
Yeah. Go on.
Sadie Adler in Red Dead 2.
Yeah, there's got a bit.
But basically the best character in Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
She was amazing.
Yeah, she was incredible. Yeah, if there's another Red Dead single player stuff coming, then please just be like a 5-hour experience with her would be fantastic.
Our story arc was just so good.
When you meet up with her again later, I'm trying to dance around the issue, and she find out what she does, and then you spend a mission with. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yep.
Last question. Random Littlefield. He says, when last year started with a should I buy a Switch vibe, is 2021 likely to be the year of should I buy a PS5 or wait? My PS5, the original big fellow, loud like a Hoover fighting a Hoover in a wind tunnel, is now spitting out discs and is on its last legs. Should I buy a PS5 when they're back in stock, or should I wait? Is a PS4 Pro worth considering?
No.
If you want to replace it, then I get a PS5. But yeah. That's it, really.
If you need to replace your PS4, get a PS5. Don't get a PS4 Pro, because you'll be so disappointed.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that all your purchases from PS4, right? So if I was to get a PS5 tomorrow, I could just put Fall Guys on it, right, and play it. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can,
brilliant. That's great. That's how it should be. So yeah, replace it with a PS5, I think. But you won't be able to get one. It's insane out there. It's utterly insane. It's of the rows that are going on at the moment in the stock. It's the Stock Informer community. They've had to close down the message boards on the Stock Informer website because people were getting too angry with each other. People waiting up till 4 a.m. because there was a rumour that Argos were going to drop their allocation there.
So we've had obviously like stock issues in the past for loads of things.
Not as been as bad as this. This is the worst I've ever seen it.
If I mean, it's impossible to say, but if it wasn't for COVID, would it still be bad? Obviously, I guess
Microsoft are getting regular
product.
Yeah, but the demand is different, probably.
Go on. The demand is different for what?
Well, no, you're saying Microsoft are handling it, but
yes.
I'd probably argue that there's probably more people who are trying to buy PlayStations than are trying to buy Xboxes.
Okay, you could argue that, right? But Microsoft are still selling out every time it goes up. It goes up for about half an hour, if that. Well, I don't know.
How many are they putting out?
I don't know, but they're still getting into many retailers' hands. They're still putting them on the shelves. Sony aren't. Sony haven't done a significant drop of consoles since launch in the UK. They have done in America, but in the UK they haven't. And that's a fucking mess. So if anyone is desperate to buy a PlayStation, they're going to have to get it from a scalper at the moment because it's the only fucking way you're going to get it. It's crazy, James. It's crazy.
No, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying, like, you're saying, like, Microsoft have managed this really well, but we don't.
No, they haven't managed
clue.
it really well. They haven't managed it really well because they're obviously not meeting demand. They're clearly not meeting demand. Neither of them are meeting demand, but at least Microsoft are delivering consoles to retailers in the UK. Sony aren't. What's the argument there?
Well, no, it's no. Oh, this is ridiculous because you're arguing that Microsoft are doing a better job, which is yes, that's true. They are putting out more consoles, but you don't know what the demand is. You also don't know how many consoles they're releasing each time. You know, like into the market.
Correct.
There's too many factors that you don't know to be able to make like solid judgments on things.
But they're regularly getting them into the country. So how can you argue against that? What's the alternative?
Because they could be regularly getting like 5 units into the country, and that's great.
And spreading that across several different retailers, James. And what would be the financial benefit of Microsoft shipping 5 consoles into the country? How would that make any financial sense?
No, if you've got a much less demand for the machine, right? And they're also putting out, but they're putting out like a smaller number. It's a completely different situation.
How?
What do you mean how? It depends on because we have no idea how many people are trying to buy these things. So you can't say like, okay, if I'm selling say I'm selling like an iPhone, right?
Yep.
And we know loads of people want to buy this. You're selling an Android phone that's like, maybe not a great one or whatever that nobody's really interested in, but you'll keep replacing it all the time. Then you can easily say, I'm doing a better job of logistics than the iPhone is because of the fact that fewer people want it and there's fewer, there's less demand.
Right. That argument would hold water if Sony were delivering consoles to the UK. They're not.
I don't understand.
And they haven't for 3 months.
I know, I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying is I don't think that you can compare them because we don't know the numbers. We have no idea at all what the demand is between the two machines because Microsoft will not reveal how many machines they've actually sold. So there's no way we can know.
I'm not suggesting that Microsoft are meeting demand. I'm not suggesting any of that. What I'm saying is that
you just said that. You said that they're...
No, I'm saying they're not meeting demand, James, because they're bringing the consoles out. They're hard to get hold of. They get snapped up straight away, right? But they're delivering consoles on a regular basis, and Sony aren't.
Yeah, I know. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that because we don't know what the levels of, we don't know how many people want them. We don't really know how many people are buying them at all. I don't think that you can compare the two. I really don't.
Right. Okay. I don't agree with you. I think that's I don't. That's strange, very strange. Okay, are we done? Has any of you got anything to say on that argument? No.
No.
Well, let's on that bombshell. Let's get on with the socials, Matt. Are you all right, James?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Right, okay, cool.
You know, we were saying about before we couldn't tell if he was lying to us or not. I think I know now.
Yeah, I think I know.
Go on, Matt. Let's do the socials.
This Thursday, Sean is back on Twitch.
Yeah,
This
mate.
Thursday at 9 p.m. Sean is streaming Chicken Police.
Yeah, so this is the start of a new series where I will only play detective games with animals in.
How many are there?
Animals being people. So there's Chicken Police. There's
that's
the
it.
Flower Collectors. There's what's it called? The Bird Solicitor one. I think that counts.
Yeah, it's that.
That's the little one.
And then later this year, Backbone is coming out, and it looks incredible. This is kind of where this stemmed from. I was really excited about Backbone, and then found out for some reason this is a genre: detective games with anthropomorphic animals. Yeah, so I'm starting with Chicken Police. I'm not committing to finishing all of them, but I'll keep going with each of them as long as they're entertaining, and then move on to the next one. Yeah, it's another bad idea, but here goes.
I think I've got a worse one.
Yeah,
Is it being called All Creatures Great and Sean or not?
I think we probably should stick with that since CJ was kind enough to make the art for it.
Yeah. That's a series. That's this Thursday night at 9 p.m. on twitch.tv/TCGSco. On Friday, James is back for Little Hope at 9. Question mark?
Yeah, well, we've got issues still. We've still got issues with
Twitch. We've got
Twitch.
major issues. And
Yeah.
have you talked about it in a pod? You kind of haven't in detail, have you?
Not in detail, no. I mean, I won't go into detail now because
you can't be the only one going through this. Go on, to tell everyone what's up.
So basically what it is that I used to stream for my PS4 when I had that, and I streamed to the TCGS account, which was fine, worked absolutely fine. So I sold my PS4 Pro when I bought the PS5. I wiped the console, but I don't think I did the whole unlinking thing that you're supposed to do in the menu.
We never did that before. That's what
of course we never did. This is why this is absurd.
Yeah.
So anyway, I didn't do that, and so then I got the PS5. Tried to log in, and then I tried to link my my PSN ID with Twitch, and then it just says this is being used by somebody else on the PlayStation Network, which obviously it's not. I got Matt to try it, and he obviously had exactly the same error message. I called Sony and was on the phone for about 45 minutes, where they basically got in and said, "Well, it's very strange. You should contact Twitch." And so I emailed Twitch, and they just said, "Yeah, this is a problem. You need to contact Sony, and we don't really other people are having this problem, but we haven't got a resolution for it." So basically, all of us, if we wanted to stream from a PS5, are locked out now. We can't get into it because the only way you can fix it, according to Twitch, is by logging into the original console that you last did it on, and then unlinking it. And I can't do that because I don't own it anymore. It's gone. It's disappeared.
Doesn't exist anymore. So I mean, I'm going to try logging into it on my. Cause I'm the only one with a PS4 now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to try logging into it with my PS4 and see if that works. And then,
but I assume it's linked to the console and not the user account, though, right?
Yeah. So
which makes no sense because. Because I mean, I disconnected it in the Twitch settings. I've done all the things you're supposed to do, but it just doesn't work. So the upshot of this is if it doesn't work for Sean, and then he can unlink it, then I think I'm just going to have to start streaming to YouTube instead, because I can't. The problem is that last week I streamed to Twitch using my computer, and it was a disaster because it's just all you can hear is fans. Because obviously the computer is not great at doing this. It worked, but it's just awful, and it's a horrible experience for everybody. And so I don't know. Maybe I'll just stream to YouTube if this doesn't work, because that's the only other option I can think of. Because I can probably log into that until this gets fixed. It's really strange though.
Thousands of other people have gone through the same issue who
You'd think so,
just wiped their system for I'll stream on Twitch on a new one, and didn't. I wouldn't think to unlink. I would just think,
what if your system breaks? Yeah. What if it just breaks?
Yeah,
and
it makes no sense.
Get stolen.
It's the sort of thing you'd expect from Nintendo.
Yeah,
not Sony.
But what they're saying is, if your house was burgled and you had to get a new machine, you can never stream on Twitch again. Like, it's the same reasoning.
Yeah, it's the same logic.
I mean, I think this is so stupid. Surely one of them got to say, okay, like on, say, iTunes, you can log in and deauthorize computers from another computer. You can do same things on, like, on Microsoft accounts and all sorts. So surely...
Yeah, there should be that central control with Twitch, shouldn't there?
Yeah, but there was, though, because we had to change which PS4 was linked to the account several times.
That's right, we had to be on the
and all
website.
you
can do that, You can do that in the Twitch options. That's no problem. You can remove it as a connection, but then it doesn't make any difference. Like if you do that, like if you look at it now, there are no PS4s connected to our, or no PlayStations connected to our Twitch account. But then if you try it, this is the weird thing, because then if you try and connect it, like you try and do it, it says that it's failed, but then you go into our Twitch settings and it says there's a PlayStation connected to your Twitch account.
Because I thought I fixed it for you, didn't I? I was like, oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
I've logged in. Now it says a PlayStation. So if I unlink, but then I could never link on my device. It
doesn't work. It's this is why I'm hoping it's going to work on PS4, because it's really irritating.
Yeah, so Sean's our last hope. But speaking of hope, is Little Hope happening on Friday, James?
It will be, yeah. I mean, as I said, worst case scenario, I'm probably just going to stream to YouTube. I mean, I'll get even fewer viewers than I get now, but it's at least it will work probably. So maybe I'll try that.
Okay, so Sean Thursday at 9, Chicken Police. James Friday at 9, Little Hope. They're all on twitch.tv/TCGSco. If you've got Amazon Prime,
YouTube.
Or YouTube. But either way, just follow us on Twitter at TCGSco and you'll see exactly where we're streaming. If you've got Amazon Prime, you've got Twitch Prime Gaming. With that, get one free sub every month. Please go over to our channels.
We're not talking about my new stream series.
Oh, have you got a stream series as well?
Yeah, we talked about it in a week, didn't we?
But it wasn't on the doc, so...
I'm finally going to do it. I don't know what day or time yet, so it's probably best not to announce it now, but I will anyway. Gone fishing with David Turner. It's going to happen. Yes, we're going to do some fishing, man, and I'm going to do it soon. I will let you know on our Twitter thing, but I'm going to go fishing, and you're going to come along the journey. So it's that Pro Fishing Simulator or whatever it's called on Game Pass is the game that I'm going to play. I really hope there's just a free roam mode and it's not all competitions and, they try and jazz it up. I hope it's really dull and boring so we can have a really nice chit chat in the chat, right? And occasionally I look up and try and catch a fish. That's what I want that stream to be. So, and I think I've worked out the sync issues with my audio on Xbox. I think I've got a new idea. So I might be able to do that. I might be able to get that all sorted. So, Gone Fishing with David Turner. Keep an eye out on twitter.com.
Yeah, that's going to be this week, is it?
Hopefully. Yeah, if I find the time, I'll get that done.
So that's all Twitch stuff. Yeah, you've got Amazon Prime, you've got Twitch Prime Gaming. Please go over to our channel and give us your free sub. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/TCGS. Our monthly podcast is out, our talks over's out, and you can support the show and what we do over there as well. Just search for TCGS on Patreon, and tcgs.co is the website where there's a store and everything else.
And that's it for this week. I'm so sorry for this week's podcast. I really do apologise. We'll do better next week. Thanks for living it. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.